hold a roll call vote, House and Senate, on who they vote to allocate their electors to. And if everyone votes by political party, Republicans control 274 electoral votes. It is already in the bag. But the only way we push them politically to take this bold step is for Elon, Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson to educate the people that this is the only path to avoiding illegals voting, machines from voting, software from voting, foreign interference from voting, etc., etc. This is the only constitutional, peaceful path that we can secure a free, fair, transparent election. I know that's a long signature, but it is the most important, I think, that you're going to get, humbly speaking.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. It is
We
an
watch
honor.
your stuff, and we're glad that you're naming names. That's really good because nobody names names, right? Nobody points them out. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
All
cool.
right. Sir.
Jim Ferguson, UK. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, did you
Hey.
reach out to me
I did indeed.
a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
times?
Yeah.
So here's the reason why I did not respond.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I avoid communicating with non-U.S. citizens,
Got it.
particularly digitally,
Right.
and this is because I want, when we regain control of this belligerent executive branch, I want to be able to then go into every single movement that the FBI did, so that they have no predicate to come and do
Got
a
it.
FISA on me.
Got it.
They have a
You're-
FISA on me, but it's unlawful. And the way I maintain that pristine credibility is that I don't communicate with internet people that I know to be non-U.S. citizens. So it's not a disrespect for you.
No.
It's to keep me completely pristine from them doing to me what they did to General Flynn.
They're up to dirty tricks all over the place. I'm a Brit here. I'm Scottish Highlander here on UK soil. But you're obviously all right to talk to me in front of digital media at the moment, yeah?
Yeah, publicly like this, it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's great.
But I don't want them to basically say, "Oh, he's kind of like behind the scenes trying to talk to," right?
Because one of the most important things is that patriots united around the world are standing together. And of course, the British patriots stand shoulder to shoulder with the US, Canadian patriots, and patriots the world
The
world over.
Anglophone. Actually, the Patriot Five Eyes.
The Patriot Five Eyes, I love
Not
that.
the Scum Five Eyes.
Yeah. Do you want to do a quick 2-minute with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fantastic. All right, good stuff. Okay.
Because you DM'd me, right? A couple times, I think, on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
X or
saw your
email.
very powerful interview.
With the Zoe Chase girl?
Yeah, you were,
National Radio?
yeah. There was a girl there. You were at a conference, and she approached you, and you were like checking her out. You know, who is this girl? What do you do? You know, where you based?
No, I already. She told me beforehand, and I was like, "Wait, hold on. Let me turn the video on. Let's go through the process."
Keep that in the
Let's-
background.
yeah. Oh, actually.
You got a smile.
We'll try and get it.
That's why I brought it. I'll let you know. I have this. But I'm just
Hey, give me a second. I gotta make a call.
Anyway, where are people on
If you get just 1 minute. Hey, where you at? Yeah, there's actually a crowd today, so it's worth coming. The vibe's a lot better. Yeah, so I'd say take your time, freshen up, get ready, and then when you're here, I'll come meet you because I gotta go get my the backstage pass. Do you have yours still? Yeah. Can you grab that? And I don't know if mine's with you. It's probably mine. Probably at home, but I don't know. It might be in the bag of the trunk. It might be in my bag. But either way, if you have yours, bring yours. Grab his then, yeah. Perfect. Okay, see you.
Yeah, just how that connection is again.
Ivan Rakeman, the lead.
Ivan Rakeman. Right. You ready to go?
Always.
All right. I'll just open it up and then we'll go on to you. All right. Hi there. This is Jim Ferguson. Welcome to the show. I'm here in Washington, D.C., and look who I've met. Ivor Ranklin himself. It's great to see you, man.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, buddy.
Welcome to America.
Hey, you know,
The worst part of it, Washington, D.C.
I know. You
The
can feel.
epicenter of global corruption.
I mean, you did a post that went multiple viral times. I mean, I went millions of views. You were talking about taking back democracy. You're talking about the fight for freedom in the
Taking back the constitutional republic. If I can just take a
Yeah.
moment to explain this.
Please do, yeah.
Democracy is direct election, right? Constitutional republic means that we actually have 50 disparate sovereign nations in America that have complete equal power to the federal government. Because a lot of people don't know this, but the United States Constitution was created because the 13 colonies that later became states decided, the three-quarters of them, when the ninth state, New Hampshire, in 1787, September 17th to be exact, decided to go ahead and ratify the Constitution. Those state legislatures authorized and created a federal government. This federal government exists at the behest of the state legislatures and the collective. So if they want to decide to stop that federal executive branch and I guess the federal government from existing, they pull it back. And so we are represented by not only our state legislatures, people that is, but also the federal members of Congress are direct representation. So there's somewhat of a cutout of who represents us. And that's kind of the framing of the constitutional republic. When you say democracy, the Democrat Party likes to use it because it, democracy, Democrats, and I guess the Republicans like to say constitutional republic, but that's more accurate because it's specifically listed in the founding documents of this nation. And I just wanted to make that distinction. I know that's pedantic, but it's a very important distinction to make.
It's a very important distinction to make. I mean, you have a specialized background as well. Just tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I have not only am a constitutional attorney where I focus on these issues, but also I spent 25 years in our entire national security ecosystem. So I was a Green Beret, which is it's equivalent to the British SAS, right?
Yeah.
I was also an intelligence officer, which would be equivalent to some of your institutions. I've gone through let's just say I've gone through the most rigorous, highest level, most sensitive training and activities that the United States government has to offer anybody. So being an insider and also served briefly as a military attaché, a military diplomat. So I know the inner workings of the system at different levels. The last assignment that I had was just down the road here in Washington, D.C., where I was an instructor at the Defense Intelligence Agency's program called the Combined Strategic Intelligence Training Program. And there I would teach not only U.S. intel community members on how to become professional analysts, but we also have students come from our global partners, Five Eyes partners, NATO ally partners, from EUCOM, from AFRICOM. These are the different combat commands if you look at the Department of Defense structure. From whether it's South Korea, Japan, sometimes in South America. Anyway, our global partners. And I would train them how to become professional intelligence analysts, critical thinkers, creative, critical, mitigating their biases in their analytic process. So I'm not the dumbest guy in the room, okay?
You're a smart guy.
So I apply that knowledge and expertise, but more importantly, my network of people that I can fact check and law check any of my analyses to then come up with my conclusions with the proper professional terminology to back it up. And so when I observed what happened in 2020, specifically what happened in 2020, it was such an egregious overreach and violation of the very government that I had supported for a quarter of a century.
Right.
It was so unacceptable. They crossed my red line. And like they say in the movie Taken, I have a certain set of skills, and I will find you. And what does that result in? I can identify to you, at this point, about 1,341 individuals that are on my deep state target list now.
Wow.
That number just doubled pretty much after 741 individuals publicly signed their name to a document saying that we were part of the electoral heist. We were part of working with the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world to go ahead and censor all truthful information related to the Fauci-funded Wuhan Institute of Virology that resulted in the economic destruction of the normal global order, and more importantly for me, the U.S. constitutional order. Those involved in the censorship industrial complex on the West Coast over at Twitter, the FBI field office in San Francisco, and the rest of big tech with the people that are here. DOJ, the Foreign Influence Task Force over at the FBI, all those involved over down there at the Capitol that were involved in the Fedsurrection parliamentary coup on January 6th, which was the final blow to cover up for the illegal stolen 2020 election and all of its previous censorship scheme. And then I can identify every single person that was involved in its subsequent cover up and
because-
all of their relationships. How and why? Because of my background.
Now, you've talked about deputizing and uniting sheriffs. I think you used a figure of about 80,000 to go after and to arrest these traitors to America. I mean, those are powerful words.
So
How important is this election of Donald Trump? I mean, we know in the UK we're rooting for him. The British Patriots stand with him. But this isn't just about the United States. This is about the world. How important would you say it is in terms of a free and fair election, and what might happen if it's stolen again?
I was going to say you had 2 points. You made 3 points that I'll need to address in that order
All
with
right.
that last statement.
All right.
Very broad question. You give me a few minutes to kind of
Okay.
flesh this out.
Okay.
So we talked about utilizing sheriffs, right? So the way that our system works here in the United States, as I mentioned, 50 states have their own separate authorities. So if a federal agent, let's just say from I like to call it at this point the FBI or the CIA, they live in a state if they're not in D.C., meaning Virginia or Maryland or other field offices, California or Texas, right? So when these individuals travel through those states where we have a friendly, constitutionally minded attorney general, which is equivalent to, I think, what you guys call it, the solicitor general,
Yeah.
right? In your country,
Sure.
they have the authority to then say, "Oh, Chris Wray is traveling through my state," and then we have this evidence that Elon is also sitting on, because
Right.
Twitter just moved from California
Yep.
to Texas.
Yep.
So you have a county, counties have district attorneys. As a reminder, what did our beloved Fulton Fatty just do in Fulton County, Georgia?
Exactly.
What did Mr. Fat Al Bragg in Manhattan do? That's a district attorney.
Yeah.
So why can't our district attorney go ahead and continue the precedent set by Alvin Bragg
Exactly.
and Fannie Willis
Yeah.
and go to town, but not just blatant political going to town, as we call it.
Right.
Let's paint the town red, literally and figuratively, with the district attorney from Bastrop County, Texas, by the name of Brian Gertz, if I'm not mistaken. And have I had conversations or discussions with the Attorney General's office in Texas? What do you think?
Oh, I think.
Why was I in Texas last week on every single influential podcaster show last week?
You're so
Dinesh
popular.
D'Souza.
You're talking about. You're not just talking. You're doing things.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Listen, it's not just me. It's my audience, and we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands. We're approaching
wow.
a quarter of a million people.
Wow.
Internationally, a big audience in America, big audience in Canada. So what your words are powerful words, and a lot of people are very, very
Hold up,
interested.
I haven't even finished one out of the three that you
Go
mentioned.
for it. Go
so
for it.
I know you want to cut it. Let me do it quicker.
You're good.
So number one, we have the sheriffs, the district attorneys have a separate authority. So if a crime was committed in their county, they have jurisdiction. How do we identify a certain crime that it took place by these scum on my deep state target list? Well, we take a look at all of the evidence that maybe Elon Musk has. Because remember, when you're using Twitter, there's geotag location assigned to it. So imagine, I don't know, they were flying through Dallas-Fort Worth or Austin, Texas, or Houston, or the adjacent counties as they're visiting their properties or their friends or their relatives on the holidays, and they happen to participate in that treasonous communication. Well, Elon Musk is sitting on that.
Yep.
Or name the telecommunications company, and the Attorney General now has a little bit more. Ken Paxton has the ability to go ahead and go after this evidence now through subpoena, now that X is located in Bastrop County, Texas, where I was visiting last week. And as I was explaining this to Dinesh D'Souza, some may have heard of, or Alex Stein from The Blaze, or Roseanne Barr, I had an interview with her. Well, it's airing this Thursday. Or Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer, Harrison Smith, Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, Guess what county his business and where he lives? Oh, how coincidental! It's in Bastrop County, Texas.
Would you
And
believe
he
that?
has a lawsuit, federal lawsuit, against big tech for the censorship regime. As part of that, we get to expose through all this evidence, Elon, if you're listening in,
I would love to think
he has
Elon's
the ability
listening on my interviews. I would love to think he was. He's a great guy. And to be honest, if it wasn't for Elon Musk, we would never
we
have
would,
met.
yeah, exactly. So, and then number two, you talked about the election coming up, right?
Right.
So I think the process to really make sure that there's not an electoral heist or an assassination of President Trump, basically, so that they don't steal the election. There's two disparate parallel ways in which to have the most free, fair, and transparent election that ends up being peaceful after the result is done. And I'll explain this. This addresses your second and third kind of question or components of your question. So number one, in our constitutional order, we have what's called direct allocation of electors. In the start of this interview, I said there's 50 states and they're sovereigns in their own right. So when the Constitution was created, creating the 7 articles, 4 years later they did the first 10 amendments in 1791, and then throughout the history of the country we have 17 more amendments for 27. Bottom line is in the first 7 articles, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, which is the authorities of the executive branch, it lists there that the state legislatures, meaning the state house and the state senate in Austin, in Tallahassee, Florida, in Sacramento, California, in Lansing, Michigan, in right across all 50 states, that is the authority that has the power to allocate the electors for the electoral college in our presidential and vice presidential electoral system.
Right.
So the only way that we stop, that I see, that we can stop, this is as an attorney, as a constitutional lawyer, the only non-citizens, right? The only way we stop mail-in fraud, Dropbox fraud, signature verification fraud, dirty voter rolls that aren't like live citizens of that area. The only way we stop the software, machine fraud, and foreign interference fraud is to go back to that clause, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, where the biggest influencers, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, some of the folks here on stage today, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, when they can finally come to the same conclusion as myself to say, you know what, this is literally the only mechanism to a free, fair, transparent election. This is how it would play out. Publicly, Elon and these influencers say, we have to have the nation, us, the people, push these state legislatures, particularly the speakers of the House of these states and the Senate presidents or majority leaders, equivalents, to run their election on November 5th according to the legislative mandate where they allocate their electors in that manner. That can be live streamed on X, on Rumble, on C-SPAN, the American, right? And people can see who votes and how. Because we know how many state reps and state senators there are. We know which political party they're affiliated with. And if they're standing up live on video for the whole world to see, I suspect that all of them will vote by their political party affiliation. And if they do that, Republicans control 274 electoral votes under that framework. The magic number to secure the presidency is 270 in America.
Right.
That is the guaranteed method to block all levels of fraud, achieve maximum transparency, and guarantee that the Republican nominee secures the presidency.
Awesome.
That is the only way.
Okay. How worried do you think the deep state are when they see guys like you that know exactly what they're doing and have got the courage to stand up? Do you think they're worried?
I love that question. Everyone that interviews me, if you ask me the other question of, am I worried? I will rip your face off, okay?
I know your background.
And because you asked it in that manner, how worried are they that people like me exist with the background, experience, knowledge, expertise that can collect dirt on all of them, which I have? What part of castrate the deep state did you not understand?
Well, you know, I love that. On that
and
note,
what part of Secretary of Retribution did you not understand?
Secretary of Retribution. I quoted that title of yours over and over again. The people in the UK loved it. Ah, Deep State Marauder. Look at there. Look at this.
And it's like, they can do it, whatever to me. But if they take me off the battlefield, it forces everyone to learn what I just said.
Yeah.
Because I become more of a person of interest to learn more about, I think.
Yeah.
Well, this turned into a slightly longer 2 minutes than I was expecting.
Hey,
But you know what?
I owe you.
Hey.
Ask him about what a slumber cast is.
A slumber podcast. Yeah? What's this?
if you want to go for the long form discussion about a lot of these topics that I just talked about superficially, go to the 7-hour podcast that I did with Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, on my Rumble channel or theirs. I think the only episodes that have more views than I did with them is the ones that they had with Andrew Tate. But I'm slowly approaching.
He's got
And then-
nothing on you.
No, he's not American, so.
No.
No, but the other thing I'll say is, on that note, just to close out,
Yeah.
a couple good episodes. If you want further discussion on exactly what happened on
we
January
would.
6th,
We would, yeah.
I have a 3-hour episode with Alpha Warrior that I did specifically about January 6th, my role in trying to make sure that it was going to be constitutionally peaceful and clean on January 6th, and why it triggered Nancy Pelosi to facilitate the breach to run the Fedsurrection and those that were involved in its cover-up. If you want details on kind of like the overall architecture of this treasonous activity, I did an interview on the Hodge twins.
All right.
It was about
they're
3
good guys.
hours,
They're
so-
good guys. Yeah, they follow each other.
Hodge twins.
Well, look, things are starting to get lively up on stage, and I don't want to hog you any longer than I would love
That's fine.
to, but you've got a lot of people waiting to see you.
I appreciate
Can I
you.
just pay tribute to your military service,
Yes, I
your
love that. Thank
dedication
you.
to your country, and as a British patriot, I stand shoulder to shoulder with you, representing all the patriots in the UK and around the world. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you, sir.
No, thank you.
All
I
the very
appreciate
best.
it.
Awesome. Jim Ferguson and Ivan
So,
Raiklan.
this is Jim Ferguson. reporting live.
Jim Ferguson and Ivan Raiklan.
I have a ring. You heard it from the horse's mouth. The deep state are on the run. This
Thanks,
is
Jim.
Jim Ferguson. We'll speak soon. Bye-bye for now.
Ivan, there's a lot that you just said right now. So give me one thing that we the people can do right now to take our power back.
The one thing that you can do is to ask Elon Musk and Joe Rogan to crank it up to 11. And this is how they do it. You need to tag them on X and say, hey, read Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2. Demand that Americans demand that their state legislatures allocate their votes for electors on November 5th directly, like I just discussed.
Okay.
Meaning, state legislatures vote, and the second component is, well, I'll just leave it at that.
All
That's
right,
enough.
so good. Ivan Raiklan, Deep State Marauder, we love you.
Thank you.
So good. Okay, guys, this is important. This is a powerful conversation. Whenever we have Ivan Raiklan in the house, Ivan brings it. Ivan is your name dropper, but Ivan lets them know that they are on notice. So all of you listening in the back end of this, you are on notice. Ivan Raiklan has put you on notice. That was also Jim Ferguson from the UK. We were just with Jim Ferguson on the Rainbow Bridge for Take Our Border Back. It was absolutely extraordinary. If you haven't had the opportunity just yet to go and watch yesterday's Take Our Border Back Summit, New York and Canada, check it out. Go back, watch the footage. You'll see it on X at TOBB Convoy Maine, or you'll see it at X at Real Kim Yater, which is the Take Your Power Back show. So you guys were so excited. We are at Rescue the Republic. It's time to rescue the Republic. All right, guys, let's go see who else we can grab right now. We're rocking in?
Yeah.
All right, so tell me your expertise.
My expertise is I'm a speaker on artificial intelligence and the risks and the ethics behind it and where
So
that goes.
The VR world.
No, it's more AI. It's the digital replication of humanity is what's happening.
Okay, I got that.
So
And
it's,
tell me your name.
it's Chris Wright. Yeah.
Chris Wright. We got to meet
Or
him
no,
a minute ago.
Wright with the W.
Chris Wright.
Yeah, and it's the AI Trust Council is what we're building,
Ah.
and so we're building a network. Of,
So there's going to be accountability is what you're telling me.
Well, it's like almost impossible to figure out what's real and fake online today. And so what's happening is you're having all this misrepresentation, all these deep fakes, all these different things that are
And they can do it to anybody.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so you can misrepresent yourself. And so what we're trying to do is create early, ahead of all the deep fakes that are coming, is a network of people that can validate each other and say, hey, this is what I trust. This is the information that I think is real, and come up with like some sort of a picture of what is actually real in the world. But through that, you can actually evaluate politicians. You can actually evaluate media outlets. You can evaluate all sorts of information and figure out like, hey, do I like this form of AI or do I like this other form of AI better? And so what can happen is we're on the cusp of a almost like a biblical change in human history, where
Well said.
it's a transhumanist agenda,
Yep.
and so
Yes, it is.
these guys in big tech are nuts. I mean, literally, like the leadership in big tech is okay with human extinction as a byproduct of the product that is making them rich. I mean, that situation should be like alarm bells to everybody, because like these guys are making massive profit. They're all like all they do all day long is they're just it's a geek free for all in Silicon Valley, and then part of that is a culture of hey, humanity is just a placeholder for technology, and so if we innovate, we can ultimately merge our consciousness with the digital realm to become like one with the cosmos.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that because they're talking about that internal chip. Let's talk about Elon Musk, the Neuralink.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
how do we regulate that? Because once we've got something like that inside of us,
Yeah.
we lose that power to regulate ourselves.
100%. Yeah. And so what's actually happening right now is that like our DNA is being fundamentally transformed. You can look at the mRNA technology, and really what's happening is you're building a digital future where humans are capable of interacting with this high technology. So if you listen to like Noah Yuval Harari and a lot of his statements,
Oh, yeah.
the transhumanist agenda is this high tech agenda where humanity loses its natural state and morphs into human 2.0. And it's actually like they look at it as like a software upgrade for us, where we're now this transhuman species. And so there's a conversation with Elon Musk and Larry Page where Elon Musk was accused of being specious. And so they were arguing about AI safety. And so what's happening in the AI world is you're actually having senior leadership quit, try to blow the whistle. They're being fired for speaking out.
And they're being shut down.
All about, and they're concerned with AI safety, and they're seeing the future of, hey, look, if we don't get this right, like we're going to extinct the population, and they don't want to be a part of it because it's so devastating, and that is the reality of today. And so like all the politics you see, all this emphasis to get go after Trump for whatever reason, it starts a here we go.
Okay. Come back. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so this is coming back to what we can actually do. So what I'm hearing from you is you are providing resources now so that we the people can actually take our power here and not have our power taken from us.
100%, and a clear representation of your opinion and what you think is real, what you think is fake. who you trust, who you don't trust. And right now you can't trust polls. Like if somebody says there's a poll, it's like immediately like you're not gonna believe it. And so it's like, well, whose opinions can we trust? And I don't know. It's it could be anybody.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
how can I trust you? How
Yeah.
do I know that you have our best in mind?
Well, and so what we figured out is in the digital world, you have to have have a combination of so like very similar to LinkedIn. You look at the network of the person that you're involved with, and so you can see like, hey, like who actually trusts that person, and so you focus on the trust dynamics that exist in the real world, and so you harness that, and you tie it to digital filtering, so you can say, hey, like, is this thing an AI? Is it not? And so you can do it digitally, but it's not perfect, and so you actually have to rely on the actual person's history and who they're connected to. And
Very good.
yeah.
Very good. Now, how can we access this? How can we support you? How can we find out more?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the as in the AI Trust Council or theaitc.com. So aitc.com. And yeah, please sign up. And what we're doing right now is we're recruiting people of high trust in society. So it's firefighters, EMTs, commercial pilots,
Excellent.
military veterans,
Excellent.
also humanitarians, and that's really a catch-all. And so that's if you've done something good for other humans,
Yes.
and you have a heart for humanity,
Yes.
you're a humanitarian, and you just need 5 people to vouch for you. But what that does, it sets up a network of people who are pro-human, and what's very strange today is there are people who are not pro-human.
Isn't this the weirdest conversation?
Yeah,
I mean, we're having conversations on are you pro-human?
yeah.
This is absurd.
And I think we, the people, need to ask our elected leadership, are you 100% pro-human, yes or no? And you'll be surprised because there's actually people who cannot answer that question. And they will side with like depopulation. They'll side
Yeah.
with reducing our numbers and all that kind of stuff. And so it's an unbelievable time in human history. But it's up to us to push back. And so we have to do it in a
Yes.
smart way. So
Yes,
yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
it's so awesome to meet you.
Yeah.
You and I have met before.
I think so. Maybe
And
in Vegas.
Were you in Geneva?
No.
Okay,
no.
you weren't in Geneva. So Vegas, the Reawaken
Yeah.
America tour in Vegas.
I was at Freedom Fest. I speak all the time. And I do
Okay,
stuff,
then
yeah.
you and I probably met there.
Okay.
We probably spoke to you. I'm so glad to meet
Yeah,
you.
nice to meet you too.
Thank you for the work you do. And then
Absolutely.
you and I are going to stay connected.
Yeah.
We'll actually get you on the Take Your Power Back show, get
Okay.
you on radio as well to
Perfect.
get this
Okay.
word out there.
That'd be huge. Yeah.
And then I want you to keep me updated on what you guys are doing right now.
Absolutely.
I was watching a video the other night of, you've seen the commercial of the little girl that comes in and says, Mom and Dad, please don't give my picture away. Please don't put my picture on the internet. Because when you do that, and then she started to morph, like what they were doing with her image, putting her in situations that were vulnerable, that had nothing to do with her.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's how real this is.
Yeah, I mean, we're being completely transformed as a species today, and there's senior leadership in the world that wants to harness the power of high technology to create an Internet of Things that will use facial recognition, social credit scoring, and our currency to manipulate our behavior, and then
Yeah.
manipulate our psychology and mess with our kids and do all this kind of stuff. So,
Well, let's go deeper for a second. When you're talking senior leadership of the world, let's now talk the spiritual senior leadership. So who's really leading this? What's the bigger spiritual agenda?
and it's very weird. I mean, like some of this, it's a satanic agenda. I mean, you actually have senior leadership in the world that harness the power of Satanism.
Yeah.
And
Luciferianism,
Luciferianism, and I would recommend that people get educated on Luciferianism, study the occult, study like these dark practices, and understand that like no, this is a real thing. These guys are operating in this way, and they're using those tools and techniques against us.
That's right.
And so we're just good-hearted, and we're just trying to think like, oh, everybody's nice like us, but it's like no, these guys are dark, and they're more than willing to lie to your face, hurt you, and so it's up to us to push back and say no. I don't accept this, and it's not what we want. Go away, and we have a really bright future. I mean, what's coming is just unbelievable technology from power, fusion technology, like CRISPR technology. You have the ability to cure most diseases coming soon. You have the ability to create an enormously bright future. 3D printed homes, vertical farming, clean energy, all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate
okay.
you so much. You
Yes.
are a rock star,
Yeah.
Chris. You and I are going to be in
Yes.
communication,
Okay,
and this
awesome.
is the biggest spiritual battle of our lifetime.
100%.
We cannot fight a spiritual war with physical weapons. So let's fight with the battles of righteousness.
Absolutely.
You're amazing. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, Kim Yoder, Take Your Power Back show and take our border back. And we have Mars with Liberty. Hello. Thank you, Chris. How are you? I'm Kim Yoder from the Take Your Power Back show.
So nice to meet you. Thank you
Hi,
for having
Tiffany.
me. Tiffany Justice.
Tiffany Justice. So you are Moms for Liberty.
I'm the co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we finally get to me. So I have a radio show called Take Your Power Back Show,
Okay.
and I have the privilege of leading the Take Our Border Back movement. Thank you for the work that you do. I am
very
a mom of 4 and a grandma.
Yeah, and moms didn't know. You know, I think moms in the busiest time of our lives didn't realize that we needed to get involved in politics, but we're here now, and we're in it to win it. We're going to make sure that we make America healthy again, safe again, and great again.
Yes. Who do people tell you look like?
I've heard Julianne Moore.
A little bit of Dr. Simone Gold, too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Just
a great
up close,
compliment.
because I've been up closer. Yeah, absolutely.
She's also a very direct lady,
Yeah.
which I
So-
enjoy.
How did you get involved in Moms for Liberty? What was that moment for you where you stood up? You're a mom.
I'm a mom, and I
I'm-
ran for school board. I served in elected office
Wait, were
in
you
Florida.
that fiery mama who spoke? Oh, yeah. I was
was.
like, come on, mama.
I was a disruptor. You know,
Yeah.
I looked at the federal government and what they were doing and the bureaucracy that we had in the local school district and just saw that parents had been completely cut out of their children's education. And the schools are being used as a battleground in this cultural revolution that's happening across America. And so we needed to get moms and dads involved, and we need to take our schools back.
Come on. And so, what's the one thing that a mom that's listening right now, who is actually just putting her kids in school, how can she be prepared for the public schools right now?
Yeah, the most important thing is to build relationships with your kids' teachers. You need to be involved. You need to be aware. The public schools need to show you exactly what they're teaching your kids. So you need to ask a lot of questions. But the most important thing you can do is get to know that teacher. Tell them that you do not want outside counselors talking to your kids without you, that you want to know how they will handle any issues of mental distress that your child shows, because parents have the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children, and we need to stand in defense of our kids.
You are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for all that you do.
So
now,
nice
how
to
can
meet you.
people get involved in your organization?
Yeah, please go to momsforliberty.org. You can join as a member. You can be a member at large, or you can start a chapter. If we don't have one in your county, we're set up by counties chapters. So please join us in this fight for our kids and our country.
You're amazing. Thank,
Thank
you so
you
much.
so
God
much.
bless you.
Thank you. Hi, Quinn. Thank you so much.
Michelle Morrow?
Yes, I know Michelle.
There's my card. Give me my card.
Oh, thank
Take
you
this
so
first.
much. Thank you.
She's a warrior, huh?
Yeah, she's good. She's an interesting lady. She's fighting hard.
She is.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for all you do.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Thank you. Moms for Liberty! Let's get the firemen. I want to get the firemen. RTR. Can I get a couple of minutes with you in a second? Yeah. I'm Kim Yater from the Take Your Power Back
Stephen
show.
Davis.
Stephen Davis and Take Our Border Back.
Very
we just
cool.
came back from Canada and New York. We just led our summit on
Wonderful.
the Rainbow Bridge. They tried everything to shut us
I'm
down.
with the Raising Alphas project, so we do the same thing. We're actually going to be out here. I got my guy. We're going to be doing the same thing, recording and taking interviews.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love
Okay,
it.
So what is it? Tell me about your organization real quick.
So
Firefighters?
I'm representing firemen. I don't even know. Firefighters for Freedom. It's an organization that I'm really. I was a fireman back in 2021.
Thank
I was
you
a
for your
battalion chief,
service.
and I lost my job because I chose to stand up for the firefighters that I represent. So they were getting exemptions, medical and religious exemptions, and they were put on a list because they didn't abide by the county rule. The county rule was get vaccinated, turn in your card by October 1, or you'll get terminated. So when I refused to issue discipline, I was removed from my position.
Wow.
So over 22 years in fire service and EMS, and lost my job all there.
What was that like for you? I mean,
You know-
I imagine you have a family.
I have a family. I have 2 boys and a wife, and wife and I've
Who's
been.
paid your bills?
This was my bills. This took care of everything. I only had. Fortunately for me, I had a little bit of a safety net. However, 3 months without anything. Now I talk about God having a plan all the time. God had a plan for me. Yes, God had a plan for me. I always thought that my plan was to live out 25 years in that fire department, Orange County, Florida, and unfortunately, it ended pretty quickly. God put me in another position. He gave me a promotion with my termination in 13 days. I ended up going to another fire department, which I spent about 1.5 years before I said, you know what, there's the same corruption in this department. It doesn't matter where you are. So I decided to retire from the fire service, and I started a Raising Alphas project is what I do. It's raising the next generation of leaders, not followers. That's my message.
Wow, that is
we really hone in on not just alpha males, but alpha females.
Yeah.
Like we have to have ladies
There
like
are
yourself,
alpha females.
100%.
There are.
We have to have women out there that are standing up, and we've
Yes.
seen that over the
Yes.
last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Our men have the ones that have kind of taken the backseat role, and so our project, our movement is to really re-engage those parents to talk to those kids, to be engaged with their children, to make sure they know the right from wrong, to have those family values, to share those family values, so they know that they're strong. One thing I saw is my 9-year-old. He was in the kindergarten at the time, and I didn't get to see his graduation. I didn't get to walk him to school. He had to wear a mask. I refused to wear a mask with it, put a mask on him.
Good.
He wore a shield. It was those things that I was like, who's going to speak out for my kids if I don't? So I did.
Come on,
And so that's
Daddy.
what I continue to do. So,
So good. Well, thank you for being
Yes,
a
ma'am.
warrior. I'm so glad that I caught your eye.
yes, ma'am.
And I got to talk to you.
Your name again?
So Kim Yater from the
Kim
Take
Yater.
Your Power Back show and Take Our
I
Border
would
Back.
love
So
to
let's
follow.
exchange,
Yeah,
for
please.
sure. And I'm going to give you my cards have been in my pocket, a little bit smushed.
Okay,
But
perfect.
text me. Will you text me right
Yep,
now?
yeah,
Because I want us
absolutely.
to be in contact. Oh, look at you,
That's-
little guy! Adorable! Oh my gosh, I'm just.
He's much older now.
So I have 4. They're 29, 28, 27, and 26. They're in St. Augustine. One of them's in St. Augustine, Florida. So I'm heading out there in just a bit. But my grandbaby's there. 858 204 9764. Yeah, 204-9764. And it's Kim Yater, Yeater. So, man, we have been fighting. We have been standing. It's been
I will tell you
amazing.
that on a Finished Raising Alphas project. So we have been, my partner right behind me.
Hey, guys. Hi, eating. Nice to meet you. I'm Kim.
I am Gary.
Hi, Gary. So good to meet you, Kim Yater. Take Your Power Back show and Take Our Border Back. We just reached tens of millions with our movement across America, the Take Our Border Back convoys
100%.
and rallies. We just started the North America Alliance, USA, Canada, and Mexico as sovereign nations, giving power back to we the people.
We the people.
Breaking bread, table talk, and prayer in 5 states. I literally just came from Canada and New York. We just did the Rainbow Bridge. So not only are we taking the rainbow back, we're taking the rainbow back. You heard that. We're taking the border back
We
and taking
need
the
to
rainbow
take the
back.
rainbow back.
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah,
It's
it-
God's
it
cross.
belongs to us.
It's ours. Still my rainbow.
That's my rainbow, not your rainbow.
Exactly. So good to meet you all.
Yeah.
Steal my rainbow.
Don't steal my.
Don't steal- Oh, that's good. Don't steal my
Don't
rainbow.
steal my
That's
rainbow.
good.
I love it.
I love
Just tag
it.
us. Tag us.
Exactly. I love-
Tag us.
Okay, so let's stay connected. That would be
Absolutely. I got
amazing.
your stuff. I just text you.
Okay,
Where are you out of?
San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your kids are in St. Augustine.
So
I'm actually,
my oldest son with my grandbaby
Mhm.
are in St. Augustine.
I'll
so I'm
be
heading
in
there.
St. Augustine on Friday.
Really?
Yeah. For a
Okay,
field
wait.
trip.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I leave on Tuesday for St. Augustine.
Really?
Yeah,
Too cool,
that is
too cool.
amazing. It's, oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful place. Well, I love what you guys are doing. Now, you guys are also doing reporting as well, right? You've got your show.
we're here. So we came up here to
Yeah.
represent the Firefighters for Freedom and then Rescue the Republic. So
Yeah.
came here specifically. We all were in firefighting at one point in life.
Thanks, you guys.
He's
for
been
all
out
you
for about
do.
6 months. I've been out for about 12 months. He's been
Yeah.
out for like 7-8 years.
Wow.
So we were all firefighters at some point, and so this is why why it was important for us to be here.
Yeah.
And making a lot of connections with these guys
Good.
over the last couple of years, especially with the story that I just told you.
Did you meet Steve Slavchovic yet?
I know Steve.
Steve's amazing.
Yep.
Steve
He's a
led
great
our
guy.
security. He was
Yep.
like our eyes
Yeah.
in the sky for Take Our Border Back.
Steve, Sam,
Yeah.
a
I'm
bunch
in
of
there
guys.
with him. I'm in San Diego.
I just seen. I'm going to send her a text message. Dr. Rebby.
Yeah.
She's up
Yeah.
there. I'm
Yeah.
going to send her a text message. Hey, I see
Yeah.
you. So
So
she's down in Florida as
cool.
well. I've been on her show a couple times.
I love it. Well, I love what you guys are
Yeah.
doing. Thank you for what you're doing. You guys check out at Real Kim Yater, Yeater
Is that your
on
IG?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
on my ex on Twitter.
Okay.
And you want to pay attention to the information that just came out. Assistant Chief Sean Miller. Did you see the video from? He is the Assistant Chief. The TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, came in and ransacked all the evidence. They stole the evidence that basically mass corruption, the exposure of how they're stealing the elections,
Really?
the fraudulent mortgages, the BRICS nations, China, all
It all
connected.
needs to come out.
So I'm working with their team, so his videos went viral. It all needs to come out. So we have our second press. This is Tammy Kelly from Tennessee.
Okay.
Are these guys
Steven.
amazing?
Watch winds or firemen.
Yeah.
Had to come and shake a hand. So yes, they're in
Yeah.
Texas.
They're in Texas.
Yes.
We're all from Florida.
Okay. So you're going to St. Augustine, right?
Yeah, I'll be there on Friday with my boy, with my oldest.
So,
My
so
oldest,
this.
my youngest. I'm very close to one.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9.
Oh, so good. So
Yeah.
good. So yeah, so check out that case. It's Assistant Chief Sean Miller from Sean Taylor from Millersville Police Department.
Okay, when you said Sean Miller, I was like, I know Sean Miller was a chief, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out who that. What did he do?
Taylor.
Taylor, got it.
The TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, urinated on the guy's tub before they seized the evidence.
Wow.
So jacked up. So this guy's he's a federal whistleblower right now. He's under protection right now, but this is what we're all looking at.
My case has been going on for 2.5 years, almost 3 now. I've been fighting it. We just won the appellate court over the summer. We were in the appellate court for a year. 95% loss rate, and I was in the 5%. Ended up winning. It's back to the lower court. So
thank God. That's so good.
It's still a long,
Yeah.
long travel, long journey still to go. But trying to fight.
So cool.
Yeah.
What a great logo. Love it. It's a lot. Well, here's the thing. If we take the Republic back, then our voice will be heard. And that's the key. We've all got, it's about all of us united and coming together. We've got to fight.
Yeah. I agree. But it's important for, when I was saying, alpha ladies, alpha women, alpha men, it's important for us to keep continuing to speak. It's communities like yours, communities like ours.
Yes.
We're kind of building one big community,
Yes.
and we're building stuff that comes out here like this to constantly being able to talk about it.
It's amazing. It's
But,
so good.
yeah.
Okay, you have my number, so
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
stay connected. I'd love to support you guys. I'll have you on the show. We have a radio show as well, so we'll get you on, get your voices heard.
That'd be
Be amazing.
Can I get a picture with y'all?
100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
What was your
No.
What was your social
No.
media? What was your Instagram?
It is at real. I love a picture too. Let's
Yeah, let's get a picture and we'll tag.
Yeah, at real Kim, YEATER. Yeah, and then you'll find Take Your Power. Did you find it? At real Kim, YEATER.
You can kind of see some of our shirts. Raising Up
YE,
Project,
that should
Passing
pop
Down
up. It's
Legacy,
Take Your Power Back
our
show.
Peaceful Warrior
Are you
brand
at Twitter?
is really about men who are
This
warriors in the
is,
garden, not gardeners.
Instagram.
So we're
Oh,
trying to really
Instagram's
push
a
that
little bit
peaceful
different.
warrior
Why
concept
don't
that
you take
we
Your
have
Power
to be
Back
out
show
here
on Instagram, on
doing
Twitter.
this, or we're going to end up being
a little bit more right
telling
now.
men we don't want.
Well,
What was
I
that?
definitely want to share
Yeah,
y'all's
on
information
Instagram, it's
with
Take
my
Your Power Back
boys
show.
because We raise
On
Yes.
and just getting
Twitter,
them plugged
it's
into
at
the
real
right, and
Kim
especially since,
Yater.
are all y'all firefighters?
We were at one point.
Okay.
We're retired, and they
Resigning?
resigned from the fire service.
Yes, Take Your Power
6
Back.
months ago, and
Hold on. No, Take Your Power Back show right here.
Or yours?
Take Your Power Back show. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go. So most of my stuff is on Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter, I love it. Yeah, we're gonna have to start working our content into Twitter because there's so much that we get censored on YouTube all the
Oh,
time.
you guys, I'm constantly taken down, just so you know. I've lost all my numbers. They just took down all my Take Our Border Back.
Are you set up for streams and everything?
Yeah. We're live
I
streaming
mean, we'll
today.
fly out. You said you're
Yeah.
in San Diego?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem flying out to California.
That's
We were planning
amazing.
a trip
That's
to
awesome.
Arizona to meet some guys that we just met a couple weeks ago. We're trying to collaborate with their bearded stuff.
Oh, that's
We all
awesome.
connected. They gave us some stuff,
my
some
oldest
products.
son, Leon, had a beard oil company. It was one of his first businesses. Let's get a photo.
Yeah.
All right, whose camera?
He's
Okay. Wait, hold on. I got to get on this then. I got to get.
The ladies get in the middle.
Now-
Ladies
now
get in the
it
middle. Ladies
All
get
right.
in the middle.
Roger, can you hold this for a second?
The influencer again.
All right, ladies. Oh, there we go.
So here we are at Rescue the Republic, and this is Ven Miller, a friend Ven Miller. We've Tammy, hold that. We've met Ven at many places. Like, hey, what are you doing? Hold the camera this way. Wait, I'm gonna do something. I know. Hey, you over there? Hey, you over there flirting with the fireman? Oh, is that what it is? Yes, Mr. Yater.
What's up? How you doing,
Hey.
Raj?
So, tell me about the new documentary, Bundy.
So,
like
yeah.
it's Ted Bundy.
No, Clive and
Al Bundy?
Clive, well, I
Oh,
love Al
Al
Bundy.
Bundy.
I would love to do the documentary on Al Bundy, but no, it's
Hey,
about Clive and
He
Bundy.
scored. You know how many touchdowns he scored?
In high school?
Yeah,
Like 5 in the game, right? You remember that? It was 5, right? I'm pretty sure it was 5. I mean,
Okay.
how does that shit stick in your memory? Like 30 years ago, I heard that. I'm pretty sure it was 5, and he was a senior. But yeah.
So who is the Bundy that you made your film on?
Bundy of the Bundy Ranch. So people that don't know, there was a 2014 standoff where the federal government tried to take the Bundy Ranch and stuff. And what it's a very interesting story. You guys got to check it out. Basically, they figured out the whole fraud of the federal government, that the federal government owns no state land. They filed a lawsuit against the federal government. In the process of this documentary, by the way, somebody got poisoned by the deep state. We're like 99.999% sure. Caught it on camera because this particular lawsuit is their third rail. It's a third rail, and by the way, Mindy Robinson, my business partner, was involved in this documentary too. We've just been trying to spread it out because this is the actual prototype of how through peaceful, lawful methods you stop the fraud of the federal government. Like literally everything is there in order to stop this nonsense.
Mindy, awesome actress.
Mindy's like so amazing, honestly. Like
we could just sit here and swoon over.
Like
Mindy.
honestly, I can because she has. First of all, her ovaries are much bigger than like you could put like 100 men's balls in this room together, and her courage is off the charts. Mindy is something else. I can't even. She's an inspiration to me because of how hardcore she is. And by the way, anybody that doesn't know Mindy Robinson, please check out her Route 91 documentary. We have it on the America Happens Network. And
I have it up on YouTube for Citizen Media News as well.
Because Mindy's so dope. What she did is like she wants a message to get out. She didn't care about the money. She was like, you know what? Everybody should download this. And that's why that thing has 100 million views. One of the most popular independent documentaries. And she made it on her cell phone, by the way. Cell phone. And you could hear how excited I am to talk about Mindy because I'm from Hollywood. I was like basically came up in the film and TV business. I've sold TV shows. And I look at somebody like her who's so talented and dedicated, and there's nothing I could do but have like literal 100% respect. And honestly, I can't say that about many people. I can't say that. With her, she's amazing,
Yeah, there was one of my favorite interviews with Mindy, and I love talking about this.
Yeah.
We were at a conference in Dallas, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up her IMDb page, and I just went through and I said, okay, tell me about this movie. And she just said, oh, that movie? Oh, my God. You know, she sat there and told all about the different movies that she was in.
Yeah.
And, like, all the little things that happened. It was a lot of fun. She's just so much fun.
And she's humorous, too. She's got a great personality. She had an amazing story, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, but she became born-again Christian, like not recently, last few years. I think she's a leader. I think Mindy really, when she ran for office, she ran for office twice.
I went out there and helped her.
Yeah, amazing. And by the way, like she would be the person that is like, you can't bribe this woman. And I know because really she's not money motivated. She's motivated to save this country because what's happening right now, not acceptable,
You know what else we did? Me and Mindy? We sang Summer Lovin' as karaoke one night.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. That's awesome.
But so when is the movie released, Bundy?
Yeah. So for people out there, go to AmericaHappens.com. It's in the featured section right up top. Bundy versus Deep State. Check it out. 40 minutes long. It's gonna blow you away. Like we caught stuff on this film that you've never seen before, including the murder of an individual that was about to file this lawsuit. And then the lawsuit got filed. It's actually published on America Happens too, by the way. So all 600 pages of this lawsuit are published. If people want to read about how through lawful and peaceful methods we could get our rights back, we could get our freedoms back, download this lawsuit, check out the documentary.
Man, it was nice meeting you.
Brother, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, I got to give the mic back to Kim. Back to Kim Yater. Here we go. We're back to take our power back.
For bringing this out. I share this all the time. Okay, Benta, I'm going to interview her. Article 4, Section 4. Oh, I can't read that. Power. Not show. And take. Power. Order. Stop. Great job. Great job. Okay. We'll do a quick. And tell me your name.
Catherine.
Okay. New interview starting. Catherine, what's your last name?
Werner.
Catherine Warner.
Yeah.
Okay, Catherine Warner, so good to meet you. Say, you are so beautiful. You are 12 years old,
Yeah.
and you have been traveling to all of the freedom movements in bringing your Constitution.
Yep.
Okay, let's show our audience the Constitution, guys. We talk all about how important this is. I have to tell you, Carolyn? Catherine. Catherine, I like to say we have two swords, and we need to know how to wield the swords. One sword is God's word, right? And the other sword is the Constitution. If we know how to utilize it, we put it in action, that's how we gain our power back. So tell us, why is the Constitution important to you, and why did you bring this Constitution to rescue the Republic today?
So I feel like the Constitution is very important. Like, we're in Washington, D.C. right now, and a lot of our rights are being taken away by the government, and that's not really good because, you know, America is a free country, and people are just walking over our borders and causing, like, hazardous things. And I brought my Constitution here today to get, like, famous, like, and, like, good patriots to sign it, so...
I got to sign this today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us what I signed and why I chose it.
So she signed Article 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Article 4, Section 4.
Yeah.
And...
let's read it. I
Yeah.
got to sign her Constitution. How cool
Yep.
is that?
Let's see it. It's right there. Republican government. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. And on application of the legislature or of the executive, when in legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
So right now we are in the midst of an invasion, right? And there is a responsibility of the powers that be that we put into office to protect us against invasion.
Yeah.
And the current administration has not protected us. And this is so important. Why is this Constitution so important?
It's protecting our rights and our freedoms, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, of the press, and the right to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
So powerful. Now, Catherine, tell me, were you homeschooled?
I was homeschooled.
Thank you, homeschooling mamas. I'm telling you guys, these kids are brilliant. You are a warrior princess, a beautiful warrior princess.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
I just pray that God continues to use you powerfully, that you continue to dig on in and stand for truth. And thank you. I'm honored to have been able to sign that today.
Okay.
All right. So how can people follow you?
Well, I don't have social media, but yeah.
And that's probably good at 12 years old.
Yeah.
So the basic message that you want everyone to know out here, if they're going to take their power back, what do they need to do?
You gotta fight for it, because I know a lot of people just come to these like conventions, but you have to fight for it. So, yeah.
And what does it mean to fight for it?
You gotta go out there, maybe print some papers, stick them on some walls, go door knocking, and just tell everybody, spread the word. Yeah.
From a 12-year-old, guys, a 12-year-old. You are a rock star, Catherine. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Kim Yetter, Take Your Power Back Show and take our border back. Guess who's in the house? Oh, wait, I just got to say hi. I got to say hi. Hi, girlfriend. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Louis, come here. All right, so listen. My friend, give me a hug. Oh, Louis. All right, so Louis, screw big up. Did I just say that? Screw big up. Oh, screw big up. That's like a dirty word. Louis Herms, it's so good to see you.
Screw, we're okay.
Screw big. Exactly. Exactly. Louis, I'm so excited because Louis and I both took. Oh, can you hear me? Is that better? Yeah, down. Okay. Louis and I both rerouted our trips to be here to unify. Louis has been traveling with the Unity Tour 50 states. Is that correct?
50 cities in 33 days.
50 cities in 33 days. Very significant numbers. Why, Lewis?
33 is significant because we're taking our numbers back. We are owning our numbers. The Satanists get nothing, and they're going to love it.
The Satanists get nothing and they're gonna love it. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Awesome.
That's so good. I love it. So what has been, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, because I know you weren't able to get up to New York, having to reroute. It was amazing, by the way, on the
Yeah,
Rainbow
I
Bridge.
heard
It was
about it.
incredible. One of the things that I wanted to ask you was your greatest learning from the Unity tours thus far.
Well, on the tours that we've done in the past, we figured out that we're more of the students than the teachers. We went in with a little arrogance, to be honest with you, that we're going to help people, we're going to teach them everything. We learned so much from it. Now what we're finding out is I kind of nicknamed it, I have salty shoulders, because it seems like people are crying on my shoulder at every stop we go to. They're so happy that people are actually boots on the ground fighting for them and willing to travel to their city. So we're just trying to create a community, and we're teaching people how they can get back with their neighbors. We've been intentionally divided from our neighbors. So we're working with them to, here's how you get back with your neighbors and take your country back. Step by step by step. We have a whole game plan for them. And the people are excited, and a lot of people are so excited about it, they're even traveling to our final event in Tampa, Florida.
It's amazing. It's key. I know it's a little loud here, but I'll tell you what. With Take Our Border Back, when we created the Breaking Bread Table Talk and Prayer, it was about providing the strategies, the resources, and tools to bring them to the table to equip the people at a local level.
Yep.
It was all about having the conversations, bringing it into your home and your neighborhoods, and then having the wisdom of knowing how to have those conversations. I just interviewed a woman a little while ago, and she wrote a book. Do we have that book, Tammy? We don't have the books over there. No, the book that we just got. She wrote this book, basically waking up the Democrats, knowing it's how to have the conversations with the Democrats or the other side. The heart is deep waters. A wise man draws out the heart. We get to have these conversations, but we can't come in as the know-it-all, like you said, or the fire hose.
Right.
What's the key ingredient?
Well, the key ingredient is love and authenticity, and I believe authenticity is the highest vibration we could possibly have. So when people can see who you are immediately and there's not a facade there, it's amazing how they just open up, and we can have a deep conversation, and we can really get to the meat of the matter. But most important, I have found out, is we have a tendency to truth barf on people when we're trying to wake them up.
Oh, yeah.
We give them all the information,
Yeah.
right? I mean, hey, 9/11 and George Bush was under there and he was stealing gold out in adrenochrome, and you go all to everywhere, right?
Yeah,
And people are like, you're crazy. I'm out, right? So what I've learned, which has been extraordinarily effective over the last couple of years, is you have to have patience, number one, and love for the person that you're talking to. You have to meet them where they're at instead of where you want them to be.
Wisdom.
And then most importantly, plant the seed and know that God is going to water that and God is going to fertilize it. Walk away and they'll come back to you. And I just got the God bumps right now.
That's amazing.
Because it works so extraordinarily when you shift it to them instead of you. Through God, you already won.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, Lewis, I just want to acknowledge you you could have just hung out the past few weeks. You did it. You continue to look at to how you can serve, how you can love up on your people. You've got a great community that follows you and loves you. Our team loves working with you. We've been able to be at events together. So we're just so honored that we all are here together. We're going to break some bread tonight.
Love it.
Yeah?
Well, actually, I have to take off.
Oh, you're leaving.
Because we have a 6-hour drive tonight.
All right.
I don't want to get them too
Well,
late.
how can our people follow you on your drive?
Just go to screwbiggov.com and all of our social media links and everything's there. Why that's so important is just 2 weeks ago, within 24-hour period, we lost 3 social media accounts like that.
They shut you down.
And all we were doing is just talking about the Unity Tour. Not even conspiracy theories, nothing else, right?
Wow.
So we're highly, highly suppressed. The good news is we have a great web designer, Lisa, so as soon as we lose one, we put another one on, so you click on the same link on the website.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see what we're doing, see our live, we're live at every stop, 2 tomorrow,
3 the next day, 3 the day after that, and it culminates October 5th. So they can just go to unitytour.us and find everything.
All right, Louis Herm, Screw Big Up, love you so much.
too,
Thank you
Kim.
for all you do. We're going to be back with you guys in just a second. I got to say bye to this guy. Louis, I had a press pass I just got for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Will it
I
help
worked
you?
my way through. I convinced them. They brought me into the press tent. I was VIP. It was hilarious. She took care of me. The lady you just gave a hug to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Susie.
she's been with me for the last half hour. It was awesome.
So,
and then we found it.
funny.
So your feed is not strong. Have you heard about it?
Oh, it's not.
Very weak on your channel. Yeah. So Robert's cutting in and out, going to here, cutting back when it's strong. I just want to give you a heads up on that. I don't know how your bars
We've
are
got
looking
satellite
right
right there.
Yeah.
What the heck do we do?
So, I think they crushed the feed on purpose, but I don't see the tower crushes that were here on J6. They actually had towers that would block our signals. I don't see them here.
Wow.
Do you have your satellite here?
Yeah, our satellite's right there on the ground.
Okay. And it's is it Elon? Is it Starlink? Something different.
Sterling.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Should be fine. Can you test the signal on there?
Where did Roger go?
Maybe you just have to relocate.
Okay, Roger's in the bathroom. Okay. Hang tight, guys. This is like, interim. Okay. And when are you leaving now?
No, we're leaving probably about 4:30 or 5. So
Okay.
Now that I know, are you going to be here all day?
Yeah.
So I can stop by. I can, if I can
I'm so
find,
glad
if I
you're
see
here.
some interviews,
Perfect.
I'll send them over to you.
Send them over to me.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
So, yes.
I didn't know I had to go through all this. If I'd known you were here, boom. But we couldn't get a hold of anybody. I've been calling, texting everybody.
So sorry, my phone is dead. We're
No,
charging in
it's
there.
fine.
Okay.
So at least I know where you are.
Okay. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, let's do it. So let's come on into the media room real quick. Great job, ladies. Oh, what was that?
She wanted me to sign.
Oh, yeah. Roger, got it? So I was just told our a little week, and I don't know Louis was just here. Louis Herm, Screw Big Up. So if we want to take a look at it, I don't know what to do. I just wanted to let you know. Okay, got it. Come on over.
Get it while you can.
Let's go see who's in here.
Have to stay close to me. There's no place to move.
Do we want to? The speakers are in here though.
I know. Well, which speaker do you want to talk to?
This is behind the scenes at Take Your Power Back show. So here's I definitely want to speak with Jordan Peterson.
He's on stage right now.
Okay, he's on stage right now. All right, fantastic. Russell Brand.
Haven't seen him.
Yeah, I think no one's going to see him until he's on stage. He's key. Let's just do a quick little walkthrough. God, you lead us who you want us to talk to.
There's no quick little walkthrough.
Well,
It's
I'd like
super
to.
crowded. There's no, everybody's just doing pop-up interviews.
All right.
You got the puppet guy.
Here, you hold the mic. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough. I'll be right back.
Hello, Dr. Shoemaker.
Hi, guy. How are you? Am I on camera with you?
You are on camera.
You're always rolling, Roger. Oh, ask me anything you want.
Don't stay there. Don't walk. How's Canada?
Yeah. So great that I'm down here today.
It's warm here. Is it cold up there yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
We're talking about the weather. So you are a virologist, is that correct?
I'm a generalist physician who's worked in emergency and hospitalist medicine.
Virologist?
I'm not a virologist, no. I'm just a smart doctor.
Just a
knows a lot about other things.
This is my friends.
Oh, and is this your live that Roger's running for you at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
This is Doc Shoemaker. He is the bomb diggity. So I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you,
And
dear.
Roger's giving me the eyes. So, Doc, I get to be here with you right now in present. And we had some fun rides already. We've really enjoyed our time together.
It's been a good 24 hours from Niagara Falls to here.
It has. Now, you had a practice.
Mhm.
And you began to see irregularities. You began to see problems with the COVID vaccine, and you began to speak up.
Yeah, well, I read papers and I followed what people who were being censored, being very accurate at what they were learning about the dangers of the vaxes that were promoting an immune attack within your own body. These genetic jabs weren't vaccines, first of all. They were just genetic material that caused your body to attack it for being there. And that's why people's lungs and hearts and brains and kidneys and immune systems have all been taken down because their body is doing what it's told to do. Attack anything that is not you. And these jabs were injecting mechanisms that were observed and understood to be not you by your body, and then your body attacks it and you get a hyperimmune state that can hurt you in a number of ways. Some people get terrible blotching of their face. Some people have extreme fatigue that they can barely function. Some people are paralyzed from the waist down.
We've seen this all throughout the country,
and
the world.
so the world has to stop doing this. We have to stop giving the jab in every sense. We're here in America to try to. It has to start in America. America has to be the country above all that recognizes this most quickly and does things, gives an example to the world of how we should pull back from this Frankensteinian injection.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that America needs to be the one. Yesterday we were on the Rainbow Bridge, right? And there was this really incredible moment on the Rainbow Bridge where United States was entering, and then Canada was entering, and Canada was full flagged and ready to meet us. United States saw the signs up warning them against, gathering, against just whatever the sign said, but they came onto that bridge afraid. And I just remember looking, they weren't even holding up their signs. And I was like, or holding up the flag. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, once again, Canada is setting the stage for what it means to be courageous and what it means to be bold. So we as Americans have got to stand up. We
We're together on
cannot.
this, all of us. We support each other from both sides of the border.
Yeah, we cannot kowtower. There's no room for that. And the reality is, even though the sign said "do not protest," right? It is our second. It is our First Amendment rights to gather together. I mean, we were peacefully gathering together.
We were gathering to tell some peaceful truths.
Yes.
And we weren't really protesting
Right.
per se.
Exactly.
And that's all we did.
Yeah,
We
but
spoke some
even
peaceful
protesting is legal. Yeah, it's your First Amendment right. It is for us here in the United States.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So Nuremberg Code. So the Nuremberg Code has always been in place to protect us. So tell us your thoughts about the Nuremberg Code.
Well, the Nuremberg Code, as I understand it, is sort of an extra or outside of countries comment as how we should behave as humans. It's a comment and a code that suggests that all countries, whether it's Germany or the States or Poland or Tunisia, should all make sure that their people have a right to their bodily autonomy, that their people don't get put in a room and said, you, whether you want it or not, are going to have a shot into your body of something. And they and to be held against our will and to make that happen to us? Well, without the Nuremberg Code, that happens. That's what the Nazis did to people. They gave injections and medications that people had no wish to have. They were not allowed to have a right of refusal, and they had to accept it. Well, mandates are effectively have created a right of an absence of a right of refusal. You cannot refuse if you're being mandated to take something into your body. And now that we've learned that the DNA component of these jabs is creating chronic, long-term, 20 years of harmful effect in people if you live the 20 years, but meanwhile you'll be half paralyzed most of those 20 years because of the jab. this is why it has to stop, because it's bad medicine from the beginning.
Yes.
It's always been bad medicine,
Yeah.
and the proofs are huge. And I'll leave it for you to tell your audience of those many, many proofs.
Yeah.
But that's why I won't stop saying what I'm
Yeah.
saying on behalf of the whole of the world
Yes.
citizenry.
Yes, and you and I are both good friends with Dr. David Speaker.
Oh, right. Of
Love,
course.
love him.
Mhm.
So why is it so important right now for people to dig in and get the information? How can they get the information so that they can see it with their own eyes? Because we've been believing Fauci, we've been believing all of these people like they're the experts. So we can't believe these experts. We need to find it for ourselves. So how can we find the information for ourselves in a layman's way where it's not so overcomplicated so that we can really understand it?
I'd recommend one website in particular, the World Council for Health, worldcouncilforhealth.org. They're non-political, they're scientifically very careful, and they tell everyone how they can keep themselves safe, not just by not taking the jab, that's obvious, but how they can take themselves safe with certain nutraceutical and other elements that are not controlled by Big Pharma, but that can make a big difference in how they will be healthy going forward. So there are other places we can go, but it's the place I always go for eye-opening current information. It's where, for example, Dr. Speaker's recent research, where he found that there was 33% of what goes into every jab, into every arm. 33% is not just mRNA, it's literally DNA. And DNA is the code of life.
3%. How ironic that number.
I guess perhaps it is, but that's the number. It's a ratio of 1/3 to 2/3. But the two things together are all capable of transfecting you, as it were, changing your DNA. They've proven that there's changes in the DNA of chromosomes 9 and 12 in humans. It's already proven. There are more proofs to be done. But Dr. David Speaker is one of the great people helping to prove that for the world. So go to worldcouncilforhealth.org. Go to any other site that has competent scientists talking on these subjects, including David.
Doc, I appreciate it. This is Dr. Shoemaker. Thank you so much for being with
You're
us
welcome,
today. I
everybody.
appreciate you so much.
Lovely being here in Washington right now. It's fabulous to be here in Washington.
DC,
In
baby!
DC.
Come on! Right. Oh my gosh, what a great shot.
Okay.
And you
All
were
right.
mentioning this on our walk over.
How about that? Okay. Well, there we go.
All right, God bless you. I'll let you get by. All right, let's go. All right, so you're amazing. So the gentleman with the white hair, do you know who he is? He is Rep. Where's Timmy? He's on the list. Where's Timmy? He is.
To possibly get myself some interviews with some other people that aren't you. I mean,
You're going to walk up to them and say who you are. You're going to walk up to the camera guy and say who you are.
Just do it that
Yeah,
way.
introduce yourself. Exactly.
All right. Thank you. I needed that advice. Thank you.
Where is he? I already talked to him, so I want him to come over. Waiting for him. Thank you. Why don't I grab you for a minute?
Yeah. Where do you want me?
Jim Ferguson, too, right here? Yeah, right here? Or Jim, let's get Jim for a second. He's waiting for him too. So I might as well grab Jim. Is that good? Right here? Let's do it.
See if we can get you guys down just a little bit.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, Jim. I get to be with you right now. I'm so excited. Hey, I just appreciate you so much. So we got to spend some time on the bridge, on the Rainbow Bridge, to take our border back and to take that rainbow back. Now, you represent the UK, and you've got a big following and a big show. I want you to tell our audience, because our audience hasn't had the privilege of really getting to know you. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, and why it's so important that we're here today.
Well, you know, my background is in business. I'm a business entrepreneur. I bought and sold companies. I sold the last two in April, beginning and end of April in 2019. And I was politically active as well at that time. So 2019 was a busy year. I was a former Conservative parliamentary candidate, and I joined Nigel Farage's Brexit party. So I stood at the European level, fought the election and the general election in 2019. And in this time, I created a little channel which got to the dizzy heights of 2,400 followers.
That's
right?
a little channel for sure.
That's a little channel. So the pandemic hit, and I didn't actually post anything for a couple of years. And then what happened was I was out with the dogs, and I thought, I wonder if there's anybody actually still there. So I went in, there was 1,800 people still there.
That's amazing, Jim.
And started to repost. I was going to actually delete it. and then I changed my mind at the last minute. So I just said, hey, I'm back, I'm still okay. And the response was instant, like, Jim, where have you been? What have you been doing? So I started to get involved in interviews with people on their channels. And to cut a long story short, Kim, the channel absolutely exploded. So I covered the French strikes, the Maui fires, the Palestinian-Hamas war, very hardcore reporting. And I'd never done this sort of thing before.
Yeah.
And the channel just grew and grew. And then I came to the United States at the end of October last year. I was across 8 different states from North Dakota all the way down to Denver, Colorado, and then I went down to Alabama.
Yeah.
And it was 3 hardcore weeks of speaking to so many Americans on stage about what was going on with globalism.
You were at the Reawaken America tour.
I wasn't actually, but
Where did I meet you? Because I met you somewhere.
I met you in Geneva.
Oh, it was in Geneva.
It was
Yes,
in Geneva, yeah. And that's where we met. And of course, I met so many other people there too. But so, I got invited by Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson to go to Canada.
Love Laura Lynn.
Great. So myself, Dr. Brian Artis, Professor Matthias Desmet,
Yes.
we're all on stage across Vancouver, Calgary, and Winnipeg.
Ah.
And that just finished. I was meant to be flying back to London a couple of days ago. And then I got invited down to Washington, D.C. I couldn't pass this one up.
Oh, yeah.
And I get to see you again, which is
I got
even
to
better.
see you guys. So good, so good. So, you and I are both looking to interview somebody right now, aren't we? So while we're here right now, and we're going to both grab him. You grab him first, I'll grab him after you, okay? So he's awesome. We'll come a little closer. Let's come a little closer. That way we can grab him. Let me ask you this. What was it about the Take Our Border Back Rainbow Bridge that was so cool for you?
The unity, the solidarity between the Canadians and the Americans was on full display. Now, Canada and America have always had that strong, unified presence, but it's showcasing the world the importance of coming together as human beings. And that's what we're doing in Freedom Train International. We're bringing patriots together and uniting them and showing them how to deal with the globalist policies, how to survive outside that globalist system. Because we know that central bank digital currencies are coming, digital IDs, 15-minute smart cities, all of that's coming.
The whole transhumanism agenda.
The whole transhumanism, and to be honest with you, that is probably their end goal. They're trying to change humanity. They're trying to change what it means to be a human being.
So the question is going to be, are you a humanist?
No, I'm for human beings. I'm.
But I think that's going to be the question for all of us
All
at
of
some
us.
point. Like,
All of
are
us.
you a humanist? So 100% support of human beings.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. Jesus Christ came to save human beings.
That's right.
He didn't come to save hybrid humans or cyborgs or anything else
right.
like that.
That's right.
So it's important that we keep our humanity. We were made in God's image. We were made perfect in all our ways, right?
Yes,
So-
Joe, yes, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I know, but it's true though.
Yes.
And we've got to resist this transhumanism,
Yes.
humanity 2.0, whatever name they want to give it. It's ungodly, right?
Yes.
We got to stick to the truth. We got to stick to the scriptures and the teachings in that Holy Bible, and never be afraid to stand up for what's right. And something, one of the things I've found here in my recent trip to Canada and the United States is how the body of Christ are coming together. I don't think it's a coincidence.
The remnants.
The remnant church. I don't think it's a coincidence that so many freedom fighters are actually Christians.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible. And you can feel the connection. It's the Holy Spirit. He's brought us together for such a time as this. Even in the midst of this oppression, He is going to do some mighty works, but it's going to be in us coming together and being unified. Okay, so on that note, Jim, where can people reach you?
So you can find me on Twitter, X. So it's at Jim Ferguson UK. I have got a little channel on YouTube. I got my first strike 3 weeks ago, and they said we'll take it off if we do some diversity training. I said no thanks.
Did they say
They
that?
actually did, yeah, they actually
Oh my
did.
gosh.
So the strike's still up there, but you can still find content there. And so that's really where I am at. So thanks to Elon Musk. If it wasn't for him, you and I would never have met.
That is true. Thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you, Elon. All right, let's get you right here. He's next. He's next. He's next. Here.
Next time I saw you, which was your legend
together?
Wendy Rogers and Sandy Smith. Those are up on the race. I got on to This is Kim
Hi, Senator. We got a few minutes here. Kim Yater, Take Your Power Back Show. Jim Ferguson, UK. We'd love to do a dual interview with you.
Okay, sure.
Would that be okay? All right, let's do it. Let's get you in the middle. Fantastic. We can get it to you however you want to do it.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay, perfect. We'll get it to him.
Can I look at you
So,
two?
Senator, Senator. Well, first of all, beautiful eyes, Senator. And it's so honored to meet you. You're here at Rescue the Republic. You have America here today. People have rerouted their plans to hear you speak, to hear these speakers speak. Like, what is it for you today that you want America to know?
Well, first of all, they're coming for the other speakers.
Well, they're coming for you
this
too.
This is truly a moment of hope. I got to know Bobby Kennedy during COVID. Got to respect him, love him, quite honestly, as just a really smart person, but also a very good person. And when he called me up as he was contemplating this decision, a very painful decision, one that's cost him dearly on a personal level, but to join forces with Donald Trump to focus on a very significant problem, chronic illness. When he called me up because he wanted to know if he got appointed to something, could he be confirmed? The first words out of my mouth is, Bobby, first of all, this is an answer to my prayers. Again, not just because it gives us an opportunity to address chronic illness and children's health, but I think even more importantly for our nation, the fact that by doing this, by both President Trump and Bobby Kennedy setting aside their differences and focusing on an area of agreement, it demonstrates to America this is how you heal and unify a very divided nation. So again, to me, today is a moment of hope, and I really think that Bobby Kennedy and Donald Trump, they've sparked something here. This is a catalyst for something good. As long as, quite honestly, and I know this is controversial to say, as long as the Democrats aren't allowed to steal an election with hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants voting. That is my biggest concern right now, that they've, the Biden administration has, weaponized the government in many cases. They've told all the departments they have to register voters. Oh, I'm sure that's done on a nonpartisan basis. They've flooded this country with millions of people.
That's right.
Gang members, transnational criminals.
150 different nations represented, men of fighting age.
Yeah. So it's a clear and present danger. Why would they do it? Well, my concern is why they do it is to steal this election.
Senator, it's a great honour to meet you. I'm Jim Ferguson from the UK, and we're following the US election very closely indeed. The British Patriots stand alongside you. We are hoping to see you restore order to this country, this magnificent country that's led the world and done so much good here. But, how important do you think this election is, not just in terms of the United States, but around the world?
It's a make or break moment. I mean, it just is. If Kamala Harris, without receiving one vote in the primary, without answering serious questions, without telling the American public what she actually stands for, I think we know what she stands for, which is why she won't be honest with the American public. If she's able to win, after they've opened up the border, after 40-year high inflation, massive deficit spending, the embarrassing and dangerous surrender in Afghanistan, which literally demonstrated to the world that we are weak, and so our adversaries notice that, and they're on the move, which is why the world's in flames.
Yeah.
I don't know how much worse it can get. So if she can win this election, that's a very bad sign, quite honestly. But listen, I also appreciate the special relationship that America has with the UK and your colonies. You led the world for centuries, and no nation's perfect, but you did a pretty darn good job of it. And I think together we need to maintain that very strong alliance, because in the end, because of what we did in government, we basically overthrew the power of kings. We made the individual sovereign. Okay, certainly through our Constitution, but before that, your documents. That is what has allowed this really birth of freedom that we're experiencing for a couple hundred years, but there's no guarantee it lasts forever.
But we've taken it for granted for so long. We had to fight and die, and our forefathers before us for what we believed in. But let me ask you this: what would be the first thing you would want to see President Trump do if and when he's elected to office?
Secure the border.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a clear and present danger. He's obviously dedicated to doing that. I mean, that is so destructive to this country. So we have to do that. By the way, one of the reasons you have to do it so you can establish a functioning legal immigration system. Now, we've let millions in. I mean, we're probably over capacity from that standpoint. But then we're going to figure out how to take care of the people that are here. Now, listen, I think the majority of people have come in here illegally because they were welcome. They were encouraged to do it. Now, they're coming here to experience what we have, the opportunity. But there are some really bad people here. Those people need to be weeded out, and we need to get rid of them.
Senator, Scotland and Ireland have always had a very warm relationship. We're a Celtic nation, and I've been to Southern Ireland many times. And their illegal immigration is on a whole other scale. They have a very small population, about 3 million, which has increased to 5 million within the last 4 years, mainly made up of military-aged young men between 19 and 29 years old. They're destroying their identity before they come in. They are in a serious problem, but England as well, across the English Channel, it would appear that every nation, the United States southern border, Ireland, the UK, France, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, this mass illegal immigration that's taking place, it's got to be by design, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Radical leftism has infiltrated every institution in government worldwide. And this is their plan. These are the one world order, no borders. Unbelievably destructive. You have to ask yourself why. Who's the puppet master? Who are they? I don't know who they are, but I know what is happening because of their puppet mastering is evil.
Well, the full-on attacks on President Trump, even before he was in office, but while he was in office and since then, by the likes of the Gates, Soros, Clinton sort of cartels, I mean, there are a lot of people saying it's time to take down those entities and put an end to them because they are very destructive. Soros is funding district attorneys all across America, where we're seeing lawlessness spreading. Would you sanction that type of action?
Well, first of all, you expose it. I mean, that would be the first step. Okay, I'm highly concerned that George Soros has a son that seems to be pretty active the way he is as well. So, this doesn't end when George Soros ends. But no, you first have to expose it. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what this event is about here today is telling the truth.
Well, just to wrap it up, we've got a big international channel. What words of wisdom would you give to the people in the UK and America and Canada and all around the world? What would you like to say to them?
Stand up for freedom. Stand up for truth. I mean, that's our weapon. Freedom is I always say the essential ingredient. It's what allowed Americans and other people who have obtained freedom to dream and aspire and build and create. That is what we're fighting for, but the only way you fight for it is truth. So that's what this is a fight. It's a fight for freedom and truth.
Senator, we wish you all the very best. Thank
you so much, Senator. Where does our freedom come from?
From our God, from our Creator.
It comes from our Creator.
And I think that's probably something else people have in common here is they realize that these are God-given rights. They've not been granted by a government. They haven't been granted by a sovereign or a king. These are our rights. We need to jealously defend them.
I love it.
I want to ask you a question. Last time, I mentioned this before, last time I saw the senator, we were on the shores of one of the Great Lakes outside Milwaukee at the RNC. How was RNC for you? Tell me about it. I mean, we met on the Sunday, and we had yet to find out about what happened on Monday with J.D. Vance. What was it like?
Well, first of all, it was uplifting. I mean, there was no violence, so that was good. The protesters behaved. It was uplifting from my standpoint, being the host to a certain extent. All the delegates, all the law enforcement from all over the country were just so impressed with Milwaukee. I don't know, they expected to see 3 feet of snow, but we a little hot the first couple of days, but then we had perfect weather. But in general, the comment is that Wisconsinites are so nice. And that's true. I mean, we're just very nice people. Which is why it's a real honor representing them.
Yeah. We were in North Carolina. Wisconsin sat in front of us with all the cheeseheads.
Blocking your view.
Yeah. And of course, Ohio.
Try going to a sporting event.
And of course, Ohio was right behind us, so that was really great. Thank you, Senator.
Let me tell this at you real quick. So Take Our Border Back.
Okay.
TakeOurBorderBack.com. So we just led the Take Our Border Back Summit. We partnered with the Veterans for Freedom in Canada. So we were just on the Rainbow Bridge with Border 911, Victor Avila. Do you know Victor Avila? So we had a team there, and we're educating and empowering the people. Strategies, resources, and tools so that we, the people, can take our power back on a local level. And do you know what the two swords are? The Constitution and the Word of God, right? If we learn how to utilize those, can you think we'll be able to take this country back?
those are the foundational, documents for sure. So
Exactly. So it's a matter of applying them and utilizing
right,
them.
right.
All right. Well, I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time today. God bless you.
I figured I owed you.
That's the website there, and it's got all my contacts.
I need to listen more. Yeah. Yes.
You have to pay attention to where the
I'm
cameras
so sorry.
are.
I didn't know there was an interview going on. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
This is a face of guilt and shame. Stepping in for
I didn't see them. I thought he was talking on his own. I just messed that one up.
Brandon Schrock is here.
Let's go find Brendan Straka. How do we get out of here? Guys, we're trying to find the way out to the next interview. Hey, you want to take a couple minutes? We'll get you on.
Tim, go this way. Go over there. Go over there.
Give a minute.
I just gotta check on my guys.
Come right back over. Perfect. Yep, I'll be around. Steve's awesome.
I want to go in this little cubby.
Steve, that's Steve Slepchevik. He runs Elsman Journey. Hey guys, that was Steve. Steve Slepchevik. He's the bomb. All right, where are we going? All right, here we go. Let's go. Down over here. So we want to go the other way.
It's good.
All right. All right, we've got the puppet guy. Whoop. All right. Gentleman with the beard. Gentleman with the beard, right there. Being interviewed. Do you recognize him? No. I don't see Brandon. Yeah, I don't feel the need. I think we can go out. I don't feel like we have to be in here. I feel like we're stuck in media. I think it's time to go find another spot. I think it's good to go talk to the people. Let's go talk to the people.
Brandon Schrock was here, and I know you want to talk to him.
There he is. Is that him? That's not him. That's not him.
That's not Brandon Schrock.
All right. Well, feeling like let's move out into a different spot.
Stay here.
We should try to go to the VIP area. Down the other end. There's another entrance. Roger.
Tell her, back up. I have the monopod as high as it could go. She's like 18 feet tall, like a giraffe.
My mama called me a giraffe.
For right now, we're waiting for a shift of.
Yeah.
Talk about all the interviews you've done so far today.
You know, it's been amazing. I think I personally, one of the things that I absolutely love is getting to talk to the people because it's the leaders, the speakers, those standing up, they're already leading, they're already standing. But there are people out there that are in the audience, they're the observers, and they're still in an observer status. And so it's really important to get people out of the observer status, or what we call being on the bench or being in the bleachers, to actually being out on the court. So I love getting out there and letting the people know that their voice really matters. So although I got to interview some amazing people today, like the senator or the young girl, that was amazing, like with the Constitution, Catherine. Ivan Raiklin, love Deep State Murad. I've had the privilege of having multiple interviews with him. There's something really special about We the People. It's our job to spur one another on towards loving good deeds. So I take personal responsibility to reach out to those people. So when I'm in a room like this and I look around, I look around and I go, yeah.
It's where you have to have a little bit. Your elbows have to be a little bit high and a little hockey sense, I think. You know what I mean? And use the connections that I've had. You know what I mean? It's
both of us have used the connections we've had. We've been in multiple places, so people recognize us. We know how to get the eye. We know how to get the interview, which is great. And thank you, God, for favor. But I also feel like, in the media room, often it's the same people interviewing the same people. And we need to get out there in the trenches. We need to get out there in the trenches with we the people and get them in action so that it's all of us, not just the media people, right?
He looks like the kid from American Idol.
Yeah. Who is he? Who is he?
Were you on American Idol? No way. Is that you?
What is your name?
I'm Deepak.
Oh, Deepak is
Yeah,
so
I just
good
sang the
to
national
meet
anthem.
you. That was
That was
you.
me singing the national anthem. Yeah.
Well, you were.
My main show's coming up between Russell Brand and Jordan Peterson. I'm going to
Yes.
do my 2 new anthems. We can talk about it. What's that? No.
Deepak, I'm Kim Yater from the Take Your Power Back show and Take Our Border Back. We got to absolutely do it. So thank you for just the work you do. You are so chic.
Hey.
All right, tell us why you're here, the importance of being here today at Rescue the Republic.
Absolutely. Great question. I think it's important that we gather in general, and the larger amount of people that can gather together, we increase the collective consciousness. I'm coming from a place of spirituality and consciousness where I know that there's a magic to magnetism. And when you have that many people together in one place, it increases the power of the intention. And people all have a similar intention here to stand up against tyranny, surveillance systems, anti-free speech type movements, and things around the border, things around health and wellness. I'm very much into health and wellness through not just food, but through our mindset, through our breath work, through getting our cortisol levels down and our stress hormones down and getting our serotonin up. And so that's my job as a musician. I sang the national anthem here. I'm also one of the MCs as well as like a headliner musician performing and singing my new self-empowerment anthem called Together We Rise.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Maryland, D.C., but I'm based in Los Angeles. And I did all the
San Diego.
amazing. I did all the music for the Plandemic films, the Plandemic series with Mickey Willis, and I just produced the Plandemic musical with Mickey Willis, composed and wrote all of it, and it's coming out on October 10th at plandemicthemusical.com. So we're excited for that.
I am so excited to meet you.
Yes.
This beautiful specimen of a
Hey.
man.
Yeah.
A man.
I am a man. I am a man.
Just
I
declare.
I'm a man.
Wow.
I identify as one,
So
and I
now,
am one.
How old are you?
I'm 0. I'm turning infinity this year.
I love that. I love it. So what's your word to the people that are out there? We were just talking about the people, like, look at all of the observers. If you look out, right? Massive amount of observers here. Now, how do you get from observer being in the stands and being on the bleachers to actually being on the court?
That's what's up. That's actually my entire message, is that we have an imbalance between over leadership and over following. And a lot of people are outsourcing their power into codependent relationships with the outside world, whether it be doctors or lawyers or authorities or education systems or colleges. And I think the imbalance is inside. Each person inside making a choice to say, hey, we have a lot of people here. That's, again, the importance of the event, is that we can increase our courage. If other people are speaking out, that means you can speak out too. If all of us are here speaking out, we can start getting the ripple of that many more people. So we can get off the stands and get on the playing field, start self-governing, self-empowering ourselves, stepping into voluntary agreements, not complying with things that aren't serving us, not complying with tyranny, making choices. And the more of us do it, the more strength we have, the less power that they have to do anything to us. Because we got to do it for ourselves. We got to take responsibility. We can't be victims. We can't blame them. We got to get that language out of our head. They did this, and they're going to do this. And also, we got to get the language out of our head. We're waiting for another politician to lead us. We got to lead. So it doesn't matter. Like, the election's happening, whether it goes the way you want or not, you got to be active even more day one, every day, and not just wait to be activated now because of the election and then go back to sleep for another 4 years. We got to stay active every moment, every day.
Well said. Well, I just appreciate you so much.
Yes.
That is what it's about. That's what it means to really take our power back. It all starts here, though, doesn't it?
And that starts with each individual. That's what I'm saying. Self-governance, self-responsibility. It comes with a great responsibility, but we still got to do it.
The two of you are like two peas in a pod.
Hey.
I love it. I love it.
Cool.
This is, yeah. So would you give us a gift right now and just, well, first of all, you do have a gift, and it is a God-given gift. So thank you for sharing your gift with us. Would you sing something for us?
The anthem I'm about to do up there is Together we will rise. Ah, together we will rise. Ah, together we will rise. Can't wait any longer. It's our time, yeah, 'cause it's our time. Yeah.
So good!
It's our time. And it's only together that we will rise. Each of us needs to grow inside one by one, but then we form our communities, we form our interdependent relationships, we let go of our codependent relationships, and we become a leading populace of community resilient humans, teamhumanity.world. Check it out.
All right, teamhumanity.world. Check it out. Deepak, thank you.
Absolutely. I have just that.
Yeah. Give me a second to grab it.
This is my website.
No, I got you. Well, hold it up to the camera. I'm filming though, but you know, people can. I don't know if they're watching on their computer or something. Deepak. DeepakWorld.com. Okay.
DeepakWorld.com. Did it go away? Oh, there it is. I'm based here. Yeah.
Love it. So
I'll go wherever people bring me to do events.
let's get that film in San Diego when
Yeah.
it's up. Let's get it played in San Diego,
Yep.
and let's get you there.
Pandemic
Be
Musical is
awesome.
going to be massive. Everybody's in it. JP Sears and Dr. Robert Malone and Del Bigtree and myself and Hi-Rez and Jimmy Levy and everybody's in it.
Can we have your phone again?
Yep. 818. Oh.
Oh, look who shows up, the assistant producer. How you doing, assistant producer? I give you the title and then you walk away. That's Tam.
I had to go assist some things.
Oh, yeah, huh?
It's just literally DPAK.
We're trying to find some water.
There's water right there. Grab me a bottle, too.
Now they're in Ventura County.
Yeah, I want to reach out to you, too, okay?
All right, I'm going to send you right now my show.
So we're going to go try. We're going to make our way over to Brandon Straka. He's over there. Deepak, it was nice meeting you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Come on. I'm going over this way.
But right now, I do think that our liberties and our freedoms are at stake, and we have to join hands and fight that. Thank you. It's great to talk to you again.
Brandon?
Hi, Roger. Good. How are you?
How's Walkaway going?
Walkway's going great. I think more people than ever are walking away right now, and we're even seeing people like RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Alan Dershowitz. I mean, so many like big name people now, and people in government are walking away. It's very exciting.
The platform's going good?
Platform's going great. Hi, how are you?
I was only holding out this spot for
Brandon!
him.
Oh, that wasn't the interview?
You and I were meant to meet. I'm Kim Yater from the Take Your Power Back show.
Hi, how are you? Nice
I'm
to meet
good
you. How are
to
you?
meet you. Fantastic.
Good.
I think take our border back.
Sorry, I thought we were doing an interview.
Well, we always, every one of our interviews we do, it gets interrupted. We were at CPAC, remember?
Yeah.
And Silk walked by?
All right. Great.
Remember, hey, remember when
Thank you.
All
Silk
right,
walked
let's
by?
go. Let's go. All right. Hey,
Hi, how are
Brendan.
you?
Brendan, listen, I have been a secret follower. I just want to.
secret follower?
A secret follower.
Oh my God, that's called a stalker.
All right, I'm not a stalker. Listen, I just want you to know that I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking a stand when others wouldn't.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you do. And
appreciate
so
that.
you're here today at Rescue the Republic.
Yeah.
Why now? Why is it so important to rescue the Republic?
Well, first of all, can we acknowledge that we're in the swamp and I actually feel like we're in a swamp today. I mean, it's
Yes.
not like the swamp. Like, anyway,
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yes,
And
why
you
is it
know
so
what? We're
important?
going to pray in the name of Jesus that that swamp is removed.
Yeah, we
that
have
there is
to.
clarity, there is protection,
Yeah.
and you are filled with the Spirit in Jesus' name. That's
Thank
what
you.
we're
I
gonna
appreciate
pray
that.
right now.
Thank you. I think the reason why this is more important than ever, I think that my story clearly demonstrates what's at stake for every person in this country. You know, I started Walkway 6.5 years ago. Immediately when I started it, the left created a disinformation campaign against me, saying that we were Russian propaganda, that this was created by Vladimir Putin. You know, and it never stopped through to 2.5 years later. You know, I was in the crowd on January 6th outside of the Capitol peacefully, and I shot a video and I uploaded that video to Twitter. 2.5 weeks later, the Democrats, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, sent the FBI to raid my home, put me in jail, charged me with multiple felony charges. I was falsely accused, and tried to destroy my life. And I mean, it's been very, very brutal what I've gone through. But what happened to me can happen to anybody. And so I think it's important for me to continue to speak out and continue to fight.
Well, thank you for continuing to speak
Yeah.
out and continue to fight. So I want to go back to rescuing the Republic right now.
Yeah, you bet.
So you're standing out, you're fighting, but why is it important for others to stand up and fight right now, and for all of us to stand together and rescue this Republic?
Because everything that you love about this country is at stake, and that's not hyperbolic. We have innocent people being rounded up and taken to jail. We have innocent people who are having their businesses and their livelihoods destroyed, their names and
even now,
reputations
2 people
destroyed.
were arrested in upstate New York yesterday.
Yeah, and it's not even just a January 6th thing. It could be whether you're protesting government shutdowns or vaccine mandates,
Or take our border back. I'm shut down all over the place.
or the border, or abortion, we have a right in this country to stand up for the principles and the issues that are important to us. And what's happening right now under the Democrats is they're making people afraid to stand up, to speak out, and to get involved. And I see it across the board, whether it's at events like this one, or they're not showing up. People are not speaking out on social media. They're afraid to get involved. And that silence is the complicity that allows evil to thrive and grow. That's how the Democrats are doing what they're doing. That's, people said to me after I went through what I went through, and I'm still going through it, by the way, but as I was going through it, people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you didn't just quit." And I'm like, I didn't even know that was an option. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to quit.
Let's hang there for a second.
Yeah.
What is that? Where does that come from in you? That comes from a place in you. What did you go through? What suffering have you gone through that prepared you for this time right now?
I think honestly, a big part of it was that I'm a gay man. I grew up in a small town at a time when I think that people were very outspoken and against that. In general, I don't like bullies. I don't like people getting pushed around. I don't like mob mentality. I don't like innocent people being abused. It bothers me. And now that, I left the Democrats, I became a Trump supporter, and I started experiencing all of that same behavior that I grew up with as a kid, but it's being directed at all the people in this country with these brutal misinformation campaigns by the left-wing media and by the Democrats. I hate it. And I also don't like to see people needlessly living in fear. When I saw how the Democrats are scaring the hell out of black people, brown people, minorities in this country, making them believe that their lives and their rights are in danger, I'm like, I want to use words I probably can't say.
Yes.
But, this is BS. This is BS. And so then when they did to me what they did to me, I was like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to whip me into submission and make me shut up. And I'm not going to say it's never tempting to just be like, oh my God, I just want to go live on an island. But I'm like, that's what they want, and I cannot give them what they want. So I don't have the choice to stop. I have to keep going.
I love it. And what's your word to the people out there? If we want to encourage them to take their power back, if they're on the couch right now, they're waiting to do something, they just don't know what to do, what's your word to them?
Look, okay, well, people fall into two camps. Maybe you want to get involved, but you don't know what to do, or maybe you're scared to death to get involved. If you're in the camp of people who's scared to death to get involved, let me please tell you, there is an ominous force in our country right now. I call it the infiltrated Democrat Party. They have been infiltrated by Marxists, communists. These people are brutal. They're relentless. They have no boundaries. They have no conscience. There's nothing they won't do to take away your freedoms, your liberties, and everything that you love about this country. So if you think that by sitting by quietly you're going to somehow save your own skin. You're only buying yourself a small matter of time because they're going to come after every single one of us. It's like Donald Trump says, they're coming after him because he's in the way, but they really want to get everybody. They're after everybody. You cannot be quiet. I know that you're afraid. It's okay to be afraid. A lot of people are afraid. But courage, there's a difference between fearlessness and courage. I'm not a fearless person. I have fear every day of my life. But I am a courageous person because I act despite that fear. And that's what it's all about. It's okay to be afraid, but you have to act in spite of your fear. You have to get involved. And for the people who want to get involved, but don't know exactly what to do, look, first of all, go to our website, walkawaycampaign.com. We have so many ways for, even if you're a person who's not mobile, if you're a person who's not very articulate, we have these cards. It's like a stupid little thing, but we have these little business cards that you can either get them for free on our website, you can download them, or we sell packs of them. But they're double-sided and they have QR codes. One side says you've been invited to walk away with the QR code. The other side says, are you registered to vote where you currently live, has a QR code. One QR code takes them to a page where people can learn more about the walkaway movement, why they should leave the Democrat Party. The other page helps them get signed up to register to vote. People can get these cards, leave them at restaurants, leave them at Starbucks, leave them on the bus, in Ubers, whatever. Even if you're a person who's afraid to have conversations with people, just stick them in people's hands. These cards are they're flying off. We're selling so many of them because people are like, I love this because I can just give them to people, and people are like, what's this? And you just go, check it out, and you walk off. That's it. And you've impacted, you've helped somebody learn about why they should walk away from the Democratic Party. I mean, that's walkawaycampaign.com. Go to our shop.
Love it, Brandon Straka. Absolute joy to have you here today. God bless you and continue to do the work you do, and I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give you my card.
Okay.
I'm so happy to meet you.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Let's get you to San Diego.
Okay, I'd love to. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So listen, I lead the Take Your Power Back show.
Okay.
And take our border back movement across America. Reach tens of millions educating on the border.
Okay, great.
So it's been crazy. I just came back from the Rainbow Bridge in Canada. We just met with Canada as a union, the North American one.
Incredible.
Canada, Mexico, and USA as sovereign nations, giving power back to the people.
God bless you for the work
Thank
you're
you.
doing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I'll get in touch when this event is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You're amazing. All right. Great job. Great job. That was great. Do you see me pray over him? I got to pray over Brandon Straka. God is good. God is good. Hi, guys. Hi. Satellite. Okay, fantastic. Okay, guys, so woo! God is so good. God is so good. Guys, I'm reminded right now of how God turns our mess into our message, our test into our testimony, the pain, which sometimes you just feel like I'm not going to make it through, the pain into purpose. God has such good plans for all of us. So even right now, some of the conversations I've had today in these rooms, God is bringing his people together. This is iron sharpening iron. This is reaching out to people that maybe they don't have all the clarity of who this Jesus is or who they are in him, who they are in the Creator. They don't know yet. But let me tell you, when we allow ourselves to be a vessel, they begin to see themselves in a whole new way, the way the Father sees them. So I just want to remind you guys of that. I'm so excited. We're going to move to our next interview right now, and I wonder how it's looking out there in the stage. Let's actually switch over to that stage, get a look. I want to see if Bobby Kennedy is on that stage yet. Doctor. Hi, Doctor. I'm Ken Yater from the Take Your Power Back show. Tell me who you are. I've not met you yet.
Dr. Craig Wax. I'm a family physician in southern New Jersey. I've been in radio for over 20 years. I've been involved with Washington, D.C. with different councils and committees. And I'm on the board of the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons.
Why is it so important for you to be here today at Rescue the Republic?
Well, the most important thing is in New Jersey especially, they're trying to take away a physician's right to counsel patients. They tried to do it in California, and it proved that it violated the First Amendment, right? The freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do it in New Jersey. You know, they were not learning anything by what happened in California, so they're trying to do it in New Jersey. So we sprung to the airwaves with my friend Bill Spadia, New Jersey 101.5, 8:30 in the morning when it went to committee. Some of my colleagues went to Trenton to testify, and I spoke to people on the air, and we got tens of thousands of people, so they shelved it for the moment. But freedom must be maintained every minute of every day. There is no way that it's just automatically safe. It just doesn't
Doc,
happen that way.
I love the words that you're saying right now. I say all the time that we have been riding on the coattails of our forefathers
There's
who
no doubt.
died for us, and we cannot do that anymore. We need to put a stake in the stand and stand in our freedom and claim it. And I like to say we've got these two swords. We've got God's word and we have the
Right.
Constitution.
Oh, for
We
sure.
need to know how to utilize that. So, have you had the opportunity to talk to Robert Kennedy yet?
I haven't spoken to him personally, but I had the privilege of being mentioned in his book as one of the unsung heroes of the pandemic that you never hear of. So in the Anthony Fauci book, was a group of physicians that he mentioned that had clarity and treated patients with fidelity and did an outstanding job. And I was privileged enough to be mentioned. So I've supported him in a lot of the things that he believes and he's fought for, spent his whole life fighting for. So I'm glad that he's joined forces with other strong personalities with strong opinions, bringing the opinions of the people to bear in government, which we desperately need.
Well, Doc, thank you so much for the work that you do. Now, if we're talking to the people right now, which we are talking to the people, our audience, how can they, right now, where they are at, take their power back?
Well, you can take your power back very simply. Start by standing up, speaking up, and acting up when necessary. You've got to take the power in your own hands. It's not just on election day, but you can run for your church board, your synagogue board, your local township board, your school board, your state, your Fed, or support people that do. It's very, very important. It's critical that we bring those voices and those actions to your state capital and to D.C. And you can start with your very own house in your very own town.
Doc, how can people reach you?
I'm on X at Dr. Craig Wax, DrCraigWax. I'm also on the web at healthisnumber1, spelled all in words.com. I'm also on some other social media.
All right, so I've just got one more question. When it comes to the vaccine, are you directing people on how they can actually detox from this mRNA?
Right, so it's a great question. I've been on the leading edge of this because starting in 2020, when it came to all the things the government recommended which didn't work and were counterintuitive, and all the things that certain physicians in the community recommended that were intuitive and respected the last 1,000 years of medical history. So when it comes to mRNA in lipid nanoparticles or DNA in virus particles that are engineered, I vote no. I vote no. I think individual rights and informed consent have to reign supreme. New emerging technologies can be dangerous, and we've seen it over the last 4 years. I've seen it in my practice. I've seen it in my state. I've seen it in my country. I've seen it in the world with Global COVID Summit. And it's hugely important that we all get informed consent. That is your ticket to saying yes or no. And if a physician, nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, your workplace says you have to do something that violates your morals, ethics, religion, or body integrity, the answer is no.
That's right. That's right. So, Doc, if I said to you, Doc, I got the COVID vaccine. I have all kinds of side effects. I've got swelling in all of my joints that I never had swelling in. I've got fatigue and weakness in my body. What would I do, Doc? And let's say, Doc, I take vitamins, I drink water, I exercise. What would you suggest for me?
Right. So I can't give medical advice here in a crowd. I don't give it in elevators. I don't give it in hallways. However, an anti-inflammatory lifestyle like you described with exercise, a vegetable-based diet, water, getting adequate sleep, and not getting any further insults with inflammatory issues. So That's really important because people are saying, well, I'm going to go out and get my 8th booster, and I've just had COVID for the 5th time. Well, guess what? Not only didn't it work, your immune system might be damaged. So there are different things that are anti-inflammatory that can help. You know, like bromelain is something that can
Bromelain
help.
is amazing.
Yeah, and there are different vitamins and minerals.
Quercetin.
Quercetin
zinc,
is very good.
vitamin C,
Yep. N-acetylcysteine.
apopectin. Say that again?
N-acetylcysteine or
Yes.
NAC.
Yes,
It's
I
very
love
important
NAC.
for liver health, especially if you like to have glutathione around.
Yes,
So
before bed I take my glutathione.
there you go. So it's very important, and there's help for you out there, because if you were forced into it, coerced into it, you can't have informed consent by force. You can't be forced into something and then they say, well, it was your choice all along. No, it wasn't. So you've got to have the courage to stand up and say no up front. Well, we're going to threaten you. Okay, threaten away. Threaten away. That's not for the win. The win is the no. That's the win. That is your power. That is where your power is. You can say yes or no. And if they tell you there is no no, you say yes, there's a no. That's all.
I love you. All right, last question, I swear.
I don't believe you.
Ivermectin. Yeah. All right, so I got to just tell you, I just ran out of ivermectin. I got to order some more ivermectin. There was such a controversy when it came to ivermectin. I mean, you give ivermectin to animals.
Ivermectin was part of the story, but the bigger story to me is hydroxychloroquine and the ability for physicians to freely prescribe. Many of the things that physicians prescribe are what's called off-label, which means it's not FDA approved for that specific thing. However, the medicine has been studied, and again, it's who pays for the studies, and that's a whole other thing.
That's important.
But having said all of that, hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin were burned at the stake for political and power reasons. Hydroxychloroquine, for example, has been on the market since 1958. Pregnant ladies have had it, kids have had it,
and
it's
from
over.
quercetin, correct?
And it's, well, I can't speak about the derivation of it chemically, but in any event, it's been used for decades. It's even over the counter down in Africa. They call it their Sunday pill to prevent malaria. So, I've treated pregnant women, I've treated children, and actually people through their breast milk actually secrete it, and it can treat babies. Again, I'm not suggesting a mass treatment that way, but when you are called upon to treat something that's never been done before, you've got to find something that works, because as physicians, we're often called upon to be MacGyver. We have to make something out of something else.
Mama MacGyver.
So,
Love it.
so that's what it is. So when it comes to ivermectin, there are many things it's being studied for, potentially some anti-cancer things and anti-inflammatory things, not to mention anti-infectious things. And hydroxychloroquine is something that has really helped my patients through what was the pandemic. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Dr. Wax,
to
you
speak.
are amazing and honored to have you here today.
Kind of
Thank you for just supporting us and leading us so that we know how to take our part. I'm going to give you my card here.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
This is my card. Let's stay connected. I have a radio show in San Diego, California as well.
How wonderful.
And Abilene, Texas, Odessa. So it's an honor to meet you. Thank you for being a warrior. Great time.
Take care, everybody. Remember, your rights. The first word is your. The second word is rights. Thank you.
Your rights, Dr. Wax. Thank you, Dr. Wax. Wow, guys, what an honor. Tammy, what are your thoughts? That was a great interview. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Well, as loud as it's been in here, I wasn't able to hear everything, but what I did pick up, it's definitely, we need to know our rights, and we need to resist those who try to force us to do things we don't want to do with our own bodies.
That's right, and that's key. That's
Yes.
key. What is your name?
Dr. Renata Moon.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Renata
Pediatrician.
Moon. Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I just spoke with Dr. Wax, which was amazing.
Yeah,
Let's
I saw.
actually have you turn this way towards the
Sure, no worries.
Dr. Moon, you
Yes,
said?
uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you are tall.
I am.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Oh my gosh,
I
you're so
know.
beautiful. I'm
Thank
serious.
you.
Look
You're
at Look at Roger raising the camera.
Raise the camera.
So let me ask you, did you play basketball?
No.
What'd you-
Terrible with the basketball.
What was your
in my
sport?
hands. Pickleball. I play pickleball now.
Oh my gosh, I have never played pickleball yet,
It's a lot of
Doctor.
fun, yeah.
All right, so Dr. Moon, you're a pediatrician. So
that's
let's
right.
talk about that.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the vaccine and we're looking at the many vaccines children have been given over the years.
Yeah.
And now them looking at giving these children the COVID vaccine, or many children getting the COVID vaccine, are we dealing with the same things? Is it apples to apples?
No. So I began to speak out several years ago. When the COVID shot rolled out, I was really cautious about it, obviously, as you should be with any product.
Sure.
And I watched the FDA hearings about it. I was screaming at my TV set. They didn't have the data. They didn't have the safety data for kids. And don't take my word for that. Just listen to what their own committee members said. Dr. Eric Rubin had a very infamous now quote where he basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, we're not going to know until we roll it out there, meaning onto our nation's children. And so my neighbors could have heard me screaming from a mile away. Now, people in the, social world, social media world will probably label me as anti-vax, but I'm not. I trusted these regulatory agencies my whole career, but then I saw what happened with COVID, and we've had a catastrophic situation with COVID. I mean,
What did you see in these
have,
kids?
to be clear, I never ordered it for any of my own patients.
Okay.
I advised against it.
Okay.
I stand by that.
Did you have the parents that came in and said, I want my kid to have a COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
I don't want my kid to die.
Yeah.
What did you do?
There were some parents who said that, and we sent them elsewhere. If they wanted to get it, that was up to them, but not something that was going to happen at my hands. But to be clear, I began to speak out about the shot because I began to see problems in my community from the shot. So friends who had knowledge of other patients who had myocarditis, for example, early strokes, heart attacks in kids, young people, okay? We're seeing catastrophic things in our communities, and we know what normal is. So I began to speak out. So in December of 2022, I spoke at a Senator Johnson hearing right here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And some may remember me. I just said, look, there's an increase in myocarditis. I said, I pulled out the package insert and showed that. It said intentionally blank on it. Okay. So this is the first time I'd had it.
Intentionally blank.
It was a large piece of paper, as they normally are, but normally they're filled with wording, like what's in this vial, what's in the box.
Yes.
And this one was huge. You opened it, big piece of paper, and all it said was intentionally blank on it on both sides.
What does that mean?
It means you cannot have an informed consent discussion with any family if you don't know what's in the vial, that's in the box, that's being injected into a child, right? And I said, look, we're being silenced and threatened and censored, and other nations have made different decisions for their young people. Their scientists have looked at the data, and they've said no to this for young people. So I really wanted just to open up and have a discussion, like we should, about why this is being given to children. Instead, several months later, my medical school employer, I worked at a medical school, and I also had a practice taking care of patients. My medical school employer sent a letter to me saying that they didn't like what I'd said at the Senate hearing. Now, let's be clear. I spoke at the Senate hearing as a private citizen. I was not representing the medical school or any other entity. And so they didn't like what I had to say at the Senate hearing as a private citizen. About 2.5 months later, 3 months later, they terminated my employment at the medical school by not renewing my annual faculty contract. And about a week after that, they reported my testimony to the state licensing board so they could investigate my medical license. This is how catastrophic and tyrannical this has become.
What state are you in?
I was in Washington State.
Washington State.
And it's a little bit more complicated than that. I don't want to get into all the details here, but let me just say this is a free speech issue. So
this is your First Amendment right.
a week ago, we did file a lawsuit against the medical school, and I'm doing this as a concerned private citizen. I'm doing this on behalf of the American people. We all need to have a voice. If I didn't have a voice, and I clearly didn't, without being retaliated against, then you don't have a voice either. And they're coming after all of us. We need to understand what the risks and benefits are of any product.
Yeah.
We have to have regulatory agencies that we can trust again. The American public does not trust our regulatory agencies right now.
Right.
This pediatrician does not trust our regulatory agencies right now. Many physicians don't trust our regulatory agencies right now, and they're afraid to speak out because of what happened to physicians like myself who spoke.
If you were in a position right now to create a real regulatory agency, what would that look like? What would be the first step for you?
We need everybody who is in the existing regulatory agencies to be pulled out of there. Their level of corruption is so high that we need to disassemble the entire system, and we need to build it from the ground back up. We need it with people who are going to be critical thinkers. We need it with people who have the right credentials and training, and we need it with people who are not bought out to all of this corruption. Yeah.
What's your message to the American people today?
They're after your children. This is not a future that you want for your children and your grandchildren. If they can come after the free speech of a pediatrician who just like myself, who just asked honest questions of her own government at a Senate hearing, then they can absolutely come after you, and they will come after you. So I need you all up off of your couches. It's great that you're watching video platforms. That's wonderful. But we all need to be as loud as we possibly can be right now. They are after the future of your children and grandchildren. They're going to live in a terrible world until we stop this. I would direct you, please, to silentmajorityfoundation.org. Silentmajorityfoundation.org. Look me up. I'm Dr. Moon. You can read all these case documents yourself. You can read the actual letters from the medical school employer. You can read the investigation that they did against me, the questions I had to answer. You can read all that, and you can draw your own conclusions. But look at that website, please. I'm a pediatrician who certainly never wanted the limelight. Okay, I don't want any limelight. I want to go back to the business of taking care of children. But here we are. This was in my lane, and I spoke out. So I'm doing this for you. I need your support. Please help.
Yeah. Dr. Moon, thank you so much for your courage. Thank you for standing tall.
Yes, we're both tall.
Thank you for being a voice.
tall.
Yeah, we're both
I know,
tall.
we're both very tall.
And thank you for being a voice for the children.
Thank you.
God bless you. And
God
let's
bless
stay
you.
connected.
Yes,
I'll give you my card.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my card.
All right, I appreciate it.
Text
Thank you,
me. We'll get you on my show
Okay.
as well
Let's
on
do that.
radio.
Let's do
Okay?
that. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Can I get a quick picture today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Will you text it to me as well? Because if you're on my phone, that means we're connected.
You can ask them though. All access.
Awesome. What are we looking at? Tell me who it is. Just tell me who. I think he's getting. That's Steve. It's a great spot right there.
Right there.
You're gonna tell me who they
Rob
are.
Schneider was just 5 feet away from us. And
Rob
they put her-
Schneider is the actor. Refresh me. Just refresh me. Refresh me. I'm thinking of Rob Schneider.
I'm
the
not,
actor.
you're not embarrassing me on camera like this. Rob Schneider?
I know that name. You just gotta refresh me. He's gotta refresh me.
You can do it.
I thought so. That's what I thought. You can do it. You can do it.
Hey, Tim.
How you doing?
We're all in the same boat.
That's
Tim,
right. We're all
Tim,
in the same boat.
we're all in the same boat. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. What am I talking about?
The boat to get the interview.
Same boat.
We're in the same boat, baby. Are you taking your border back too?
Take our border back, for sure. We're all in the same boat.
Tell her about your media.
Sameboat.com. Yeah. We can interview you.
You can interview each other.
Well, let's do it. So,
She's working with you. What do you guys
I have a radio show called Take Your Power Back Show.
take your power back?
I've been censored and canceled from Salem Media. I also lead our team for the Take Our Border Back across America. So the Southern Border, the North America Alliance. We take Canada and Mexico. We just had our event. I just left New York, Canada, for a summit. Breaking Bread Table Talk and Prayer. So bringing back the big connecting people to restoring ourselves, to giving power back to people.
Yeah, that's pretty much what my project is about as well. It's about trying to create a platform on the web under thesameboat.com for discussion regarding political divisiveness. So where people don't agree on subjects, they can maybe go to the same boat and do fact checking, meet other people, a platform. But it's a book, and right now it's a documentary. So I'm here to interview people and see what they have to say about the political divisiveness in the United States and this power struggle going
let
on.
me just ask you. Let's just take a look while we're both waiting to interview somebody important right now.
Yeah,
But we're pretty important too. I would agree. Yeah.
Well, we don't need
because we're we the people. We are the people.
we the people. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're standing up. We want everyone to stand up.
That's right.
So here's the thing. I just want you to think about is when we're talking about divisiveness. If we're looking at this as a spiritual battle, Satan is the father of lies. He's the father of discord and division. Okay?
Yeah.
So when that is occurring, communication is so important in relationships,
Of
right?
course.
When the heart becomes bitter and resentful, when we disconnect from truth, when we disconnect from the source of love, that's where the divisiveness is. So how do you deal with a spiritual issue? This is a spiritual issue, not a political issue.
Yeah. Well, so what's the concrete question? You want me to give you feedback on that?
I want to give you feedback. Steve, I want to get you for a couple of minutes. You got a couple of minutes
Go ahead,
now?
come on right here.
All right, let's come in. He's
You got-
going to hang here.
We got time for each other all
We were waiting for someone, so we're gonna hang. All right.
What are we doing?
Steve, we're having a conversation
Let's
right
have
now.
a conversation.
I'm Kim Yeda from the Take Your Power Back Show and Take Our Border Back.
Yes,
I'm
we
so grateful. Listen, you put a lot of work into this event. Why is it imperative right now that we, the people, come together to rescue the Republic?
So, it's a lot of people putting this thing together. And the reality of it is if you look outside at the audience, there's thousands. This is our camp. It takes a remnant to create a shift in the landscape. It takes a remnant of those that actually trust their spirit and choose to step out and move through the process. And the thing about it is people are beginning to realize that many people were there's a fear-mongering going on.
Yeah.
And Hollywood's greatest machine at work to program people to not come to D.C. for fear that, oh my God, you're going to get arrested and you're going to go to prison. Really? Is that the worst that can happen to me? What does my spirit tell me to do? What does my spirit tell me to do? And if I'm really a child of God and I'm really actually walking the walk, but I'm going to allow my mind and other media to tell me different, that's demonic. That isn't about being spiritually led.
Yeah.
So when someone says I'm being spiritually led and I trust in God, and then they're like, in the very next sentence they say, but I'm afraid. Well, wait, God doesn't teach us to be afraid. Right? What world are we living in? And the reality is that if you're not going to stand up and you're not going to show up, then you're part of the problem. That's really it. I have a simple saying, and it's etched on a steel plaque that sits on my desk.
Tell me.
Okay? And it simply says, if it is to be, it is up to me. And if everyone were to take that exact approach, that if it is to be, it is up to me. And I always, that's what it says on the plaque, but I always say, if it is to be, it is up to me and my committed action. Because without committed action, nothing happens.
That's right, without committed action. Steve, you know that we've been taking our border back, right?
Yeah,
So
you
we
guys
were
have
just
a great movement and, just changing the landscape. And the fact that you guys are willing to stand out there and show up, it's people notice. And the people notice that, wait a minute, I can actually do this.
That's right. That's right. We were on the Rainbow Bridge yesterday, right? We could see Canada coming towards us with all their flags on one side. Tammy and I had already taken our position on the bridge. We were waiting for America to come in. When we walked onto that bridge, we began to see people coming out putting signs up on the bridge saying no protest, no this, no that. Now, that's our First Amendment right. We weren't protesting, we were gathering together. But do you know what? America became afraid. Do you know what happened? When they walked on the bridge, they didn't bring their flags. They were afraid of getting in trouble. They were afraid of being reprimanded, that they wouldn't even hold the flag. And I see Canada walking onto that bridge boldly. Canada has been oppressed, right? And they're boldly holding their flag. They're even holding a Trump flag, okay? I looked at my people, and it wasn't all the people, but fear had triggered them. And I looked at them. Are you in this? Are you really in this to take our power back? We've got one shot. One shot. That's it.
Here's the reality of it. It's going to happen one of two ways. Either you're going to sit on your couch, and the battle's going to come on your children's watch. And if you're that person, you should be ashamed. Because I want that battle coming on my watch. So that my kids and my grandkids don't have to suffer in that process. Every generation is given a challenge. This is the time. This is the time. You know, so to me, when I see that type of stuff, honestly, it's sickening. My parents came from Serbia. I was the first one born in the States. I saw the pain in their eyes when they talked about communism. And my mom, who's 87 years old, when the whole COVID thing rolled over, and she has no TV, no social media, no smartphone, doesn't pay attention to any of that. And she goes, "Sine," which means son. This is what it feels like when communism comes in, because they slowly start to censor your speech and control what you can and cannot do. It's time for America to actually wake up and walk the walk. Because it's not a matter of if or when, it's coming down our hallway. And you better have your stuff in order. But the best thing you can do is literally stand up, speak up, own your voice, and speak truth, and be loving and be kind, you know? Because it's not a protest. I love how people say it's a protest. No, we're gathering in love, in a peaceful communion. We're showing up in about establishing what it means to just be holding a space of integrity. And when you hold a space of truth and integrity, somebody who's not in that space is going to get offended. They're going to get triggered. That's the reality of it. Because at the end of the day, when people get upset or they get triggered, you know what I say? It's none of my business. That's not my business. If you're triggered, and I'm standing in a space of truth and love and honesty, and I'm being embracing, but something triggers you, well, guess what? Maybe that's something for you to take a look at. Take a look at it. You to take a look at it. Not my business. Your problem is your problem, not my problem.
Steve Stuckturk, an absolute joy to have you.
thank you.
I love you. God
Love you
bless
too.
you.
Keep doing the great work out there.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
and you too. Guys, what an absolute honor to be with him today. Hello, beautiful lady. I don't know you, but I'm going to get to know you. Your name is?
Candace Horback.
Candace, say it again?
Horback.
Candace Orback, you're here today at Rescue the Republic because there's something dear on your heart. Tell me about that.
I'm here to support freedom of speech, freedom to dissent, freedom to gather, freedom to have a family and raise it the way that you want. And I think that there's something really beautiful when you see like-minded people gathering together, and then you feel a little less alone and a little less crazy.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background. There's a reason why freedom is important to you, and oftentimes it's important to us because we may have lost the freedom, we may have been oppressed, we may have gone through suffering. Why is that so important to you?
It's honestly in my blood. I'm the oldest of three. I didn't have the best upbringing, so I think when you come from like an abusive childhood, right, you're not allowed to do anything. You can't protect yourself, so you go inward. But as you grow up, like a positive healing mechanism is to like protect. Now you can protect yourself and others. And I'm a mom of two as well. So when everything started getting crazy in 2020, and then you see what's happening in the schools, and then they're trying to change like vaccine schedules and tell you how to raise your babies, it's like absolutely not. So I want to be around like-minded people where you can actually start to facilitate some change.
So did you go through some things with your children when we were in the midst of the vaccine?
Oh my goodness. So I was pregnant with my second one, and every time I would go into the doctor's office, they would berate me to get vaccinated, and I would go in with all of this information, all of this data, and then he goes, I don't know about the studies, but you need to do it. I was like, well, I'm not going to. And then I got COVID when I was 2 or 3 months pregnant, and my doctor looked at me and she said, well, the likelihood of you getting a stillborn just went up significantly. And I sat back and I was like, based off of what research? And for you to say that to a woman is insane, because we know that the best outcome for a healthy child is the stress of the mom. So now you're inducing stress based off of nothing but your ideology, and that is so reckless, and someone should pull your license.
Wow, that is so intense. What did she say to you?
She just said that I needed to get vaccinated after 3 months because my natural immunity wasn't sufficient, and it was actually going to make it worse if I got COVID again. So just all of these really weird
They're
talking
called
points.
disrespectful judgments. They are not based on any facts.
No.
There's a propaganda. There's an agenda.
Oh, absolutely. And it again, like, if you're not doing conscious consent with anyone, I also think that that's reckless. So are you offering risks, benefits, and alternatives? If you're not doing that, then you shouldn't be offering anything, because I can't consciously consent to that. So if all you're saying is the benefits, or you have to, then you shouldn't have a license. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. So how are your babies now?
They're amazing. They're 2 and 4, and they're
Amazing.
thriving. Yeah.
That's so good. So you trusted your motherly instinct. You trusted your God-given instinct.
Oh, absolutely. And I think so many of us are taught that there's no significance in that. But we know that there is, because the CIA has a department where they actually use women more than men, because we are so attuned to that. So you have your second brain. You have more serotonin in your gut than you do in your brain, in your actual your first brain. So they call it your second brain. So if you have that spidey sense, listen to it. Don't use this, because this is going to talk you out of it. Like, get into your body and make that decision.
So amazing. Okay, how can we support you, and what is your mission? Like, you're here also for a calling today. So do you have an organization or anything that we can support?
Oh, a couple of things. So my podcast is Chatting with Candace, and you can go to chattingwithcandace.com, and that has all my socials. We also are part of this nonprofit that helps liberate women and children from sex trafficking, and that's Operation Rescue Children. Highly recommend, donate. All of that money goes into the direct operations. A couple of really badass special operators train boots on the ground to actually go in and save these people.
Oh my
so
gosh.
fantastic cause.
That's why Roger wanted me to talk to you. So our team, I run we have an amazing team called Take Our Border Back. So Southern Border Convoys across the country. Also the North America Alliance. We just led a summit in Canada. I just came down from the Rainbow Bridge. Not only are we taking our border back, we're taking the rainbow back, okay? So we are exposing the human trafficking. We have teams that rescue the children. And often they don't have places to send these children because they don't want them to go to the state-funded organizations.
Yeah, under Biden's administration, it's upwards of 88,000 children have come over and are not accounted for. So we're pretending that we're letting these people in because of empathy, right? They're escaping some kind of violence. They need to be here. You don't know what it's like. Okay, but what about all of those kids? I'm actually doing a border episode the next month. One of my friends is Border Patrol. He's one of they call him Jump Boys. He's a detective, and we're gonna go do
Oh, girl! So I took this photo on the border. It's a real photo. Yeah, I'm like, he wants me to meet us. So here's my card. I want you to text me. Okay, and let's figure it out. Where do you live?
I live in North Carolina.
Okay, I'm in San Diego, California.
I'm there a lot. My grandma's in San Marcos.
Oh, seriously?
Arlington, North Carolina.
And her grandma's in San Marcos.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Did you have any relatives out there, Trump?
No, I was just here last week though, which is crazy. It's destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Hang on, she's amazing. I gotta get her number.
Okay, let me get your number.
Yeah. Hang on. I never use this thing. It normally opens up. My phone is. I'm on the. Okay. 1 second. I have to go help someone else interview. I will be right. And what's your number?
607.
Hey, whoa. Full name again.
Don't show the camera. Don't show the camera.
you in here, I'm going to send
The
you
problem
a
is
text right away. That way you and I are connected. We're going to take a quick picture together. Okay? Yeah. Tammy, let's get you in the picture too. This is Tammy Kelly. She's amazing. We all love working together. All right, here we go. Got us. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So nice meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Thank you. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. It's great.
All right, so we're in between here. I've seen Tulsi Gabbard. Rob Schneider walked with about five feet from us. So
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Okay, hang on. Let me see, because I think he wants to do an interview with me, but do we want to wait a minute? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. This is our camera. So we're doing it here or in that direction? Shoot this way? Kim.
No, Mark.
Okay. You want to go this way?
All right.
So, we got to keep, you got to keep me, is it close enough?
Should they be in there all right?
So we got to keep the camera
Okay, then
here.
we'll do it
Is
this way.
Right here? Okay.
He wants to stay in his position.
I got to stay here for a reason.
Okay.
But is this
Great.
good?
Your mic is not going to be useful for this.
Oh, well, my camera's picking you up. You're live.
Okay, you're on with him as well.
Yeah.
All right. Kim.
Yes.
Nice to meet you here
So
at
good
the
to meet
Rescue
you.
the Republic event, September 2024. Yeah. We're not rolling. Okay. And? Ready? Okay. Here at the Rescue the Republic event, September 2024 in Washington, D.C. Yeah, talking about the political divisiveness in the United States. What do you think the main causes for this divisiveness are? What is it that we, the people, can do about it to bring the power back into the hands of the people?
Well, that's a really, really great question. You cannot fight a spiritual war with physical weapons. We are dealing with principalities of darkness. So this division goes deep. It is a spiritual division. We know that Satan is the father of lies, where you find discord, division, and all the like is where you'll find his work. And I really believe that this battle cannot be won by, it's not a political issue, it's a spiritual issue. If we get realigned back with God in his rightful place, it's funny because I run the Take Our Border Back movement and Take Your Power Back show. I have an amazing team with Take Our Border Back, but I get to be that team. One of the things that I say often is there's a scripture in 1 Chronicles 7:14. It's a call to action for all of America. It says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, come to me and pray, seek my face, I will hear their voice and heal their land. We have relied so much on our own understanding, and especially when it comes to politics. I'm a mom of four. I'm not into politics, I'm into truth. But God wants to heal this land. And the only way we're going to be able to handle this division and discord is by the people unifying, the people coming together, getting on the same page.
What is it that we can all get on the same page about? Can you think of some things off the top of your head that most Americans, if not almost all Americans, can agree on and say, we're for that?
How about all of us being able to have a conversation together?
Yeah,
A Socratic
good
method.
start.
Ask questions. Seek to understand.
Yeah.
Right? We're so busy trying to force feed people, getting them to believe what we believe. What if we just ask the questions, create the space? people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
What are those things that we can all agree on as Americans? How is it that we're actually all in the same boat the way you see it?
Okay, this is how I see it. There is one God. There is one Lord. There is one Savior. Do you know how many people in this space that we're in? Look around. I could tell you that the majority of people in this space will tell you there is a God. And there is a God who loves us. And there is a God that desires unity. And there is really one truth. Now, we can have differing opinions, but there is a universal truth. Many of us in this space share the same values. So I think if we go back to the basics, I think that's one of the key things we can do is go back to those basics of finding the commonality in what we value. We all value our rights, our freedom, our First Amendment rights.
For
to
example,
free speech, right? I'll tell you, I'm one of those people. I've been censored on Facebook. I've been canceled from Salem Radio, canceled on YouTube, canceled on LinkedIn. Freedom of speech. What about a Second Amendment right to carry, to defend ourselves? Do you know our brothers and sisters in Canada and in Australia do not have the Constitution we have?
No, of course not.
Yeah, and we the people have been riding on the coattails of our forefathers. I was raising my babies. I am guilty as charged. 4 kids, running my business, getting my kids to sports, getting them fed, riding on the coattails of my forefathers' freedom. Just assuming that freedom was granted to me. I already have it. It's already been died for. No. We have got to plant our grounds. We've got to stand our ground and stand in our freedom. We need to continue to fight for our freedom. It is imperative to take our republic back. So I think those are the two things, our First and our Second Amendment rights. And if we want to talk about our border, Article 4, Section 4 of our border has been invaded. There is an intentional agenda. The border is a bleeding over of the bigger agenda. We see all these vaccine issues. We see that border is just, I say it again, a bleeding over of the bigger issues. And the bigger issue is the global agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Was that helpful?
And you're out. Yeah, it was helpful. You're out there on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So in Portland. San Diego.
And where are you?
Munich, Germany.
You guys are here from Germany?
I live in Germany. And my son does as well.
That's amazing.
I'm originally from New York.
So good to meet you on Kim.
I'm
You're
from New
originally
York.
From New York.
My company shows Americans and other English-speaking visitors to Munich, the city, by bicycle. It's called Mike's Bike Tours.
Do you have a card? Do you have a card? That's amazing.
Yeah. The
Well,
same
why
boat.
are you here?
This is a project of mine that I wanted to do. I have that.
Oh, you do already.
It's
Okay.
right here. We spoke before.
Yeah, let me get. That's right. We did.
But if
We're
you
gonna
wanted
get
my
it
card
sorted.
for Munich, there it is. That's my private tours card. That's not my company's Mike's
Who's
Bike
that?
Tours.
Is that you?
That's me in 2010 in Egypt, out in front of our hotel before we.
That's amazing. And this is your son. Oh, that is so cool. It's a good
My son
picture.
took that photo. I mean,
That's a
my
great
daughter.
picture.
I didn't take that. My daughter took that photo. She was 6 years old at that time.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you.
If you're
And
ever
I'm
in
so
Munich,
sorry we
let
didn't
us
get
show
to
you a good
finish.
time.
I would love that. I was just in Geneva. That's the furthest. I'm
Yep.
not now. But let
One of
me
these
just to
days.
finish up because I am so sorry. I just want to say, Steve had been waiting to be interviewed, and I know Steve very well. He's amazing. So I pulled him in the middle of you and I talking.
Steve, okay.
Yeah, Steve.
I don't know who he is.
Steve runs security. He's your security guy.
Oh, okay.
One of your main security guys.
Okay,
here.
cool.
He also helps support Take Our Border Back
Uh-huh.
with security.
Right.
So why are you here supporting us right now with Rescue the Republic? Yes, you were in New York. you
Beginning in
lived Germany now.
2016, I saw how the country is becoming more divided politically, and Donald Trump was not being treated fairly, in my opinion, by the media, and a lot of people that were believing things about him that weren't true. And so I took a side, and I've been on that side since, and I keep on seeing the other side breaking the rules, like when it comes to spouting lies and just not sticking to principles. So I see a lack of integrity, a lack of honesty on the side of the left, and I see it as the primary cause for the divisiveness in the country, and they try to blame it on Trump. And I just don't see that as fair. I think it's un-American. Trump is also the underdog. He's out there trying to rage against the machine, the way everybody, apparently not everybody, but majority of us want to see some raging against the machine and some draining of the so-called swamp. And he's an outsider coming in saying, I'm going to do this, and you can get a better person on the job than Trump, but he's our guy, and we can't do anything about changing that, unfortunately, once he's become the nominee. So then you vote for him.
Well, that's the important thing. We get people out there to vote.
If for no other reason, it's the lesser of two evils, and then once he's in there, you want to see him succeed. So
Yeah.
So why do you support Trump? Well, there's a bunch of good reasons to support Trump.
So is there an impact on Germany to support Trump?
No, the Germans hate Trump because they've been told.
Really?
Yeah, well, they've been told that they should hate him by the, corporate media, not the corporate media, but the German media. They're very globalists, and they're not Trump fans, that's for sure. And so, consequently, probably about 80% of Germans don't have a positive opinion of Trump. They have a very negative opinion of him. I'd say about 80%, could be 90.
Wow, that's incredible.
Well,
So-
people get their opinions from the media, and if that's what the media wants you to believe.
I'm curious. So you're a business owner. You're shrewd. Is that why you moved to Germany? Because you saw business opportunity with having your bicycle company?
No, I moved to Germany because of a relationship, and I just saw the opportunity to show Americans around the city by bicycle because they were previously wandering around cluelessly without any idea where to go with themselves. So I figured I'd buy 20 bikes and start showing them around instead of managing a McDonald's, which is what I had been doing.
Well, I appreciate you so much. So if people are in Germany and they want to go for a great ride around the city and know where to go, where do they access that?
Well, right near the Hofbräuhaus, the famous institution owned by the Bavarian government, where you can drink beer from 11 in the morning to 11 at night by the liter and listen to a Bavarian brass band do that oompa thing. We're right around the corner from the back door, right between the Mandarin Oriental Hotel and the police station. It's called Mike's Bike Tours.
Mike, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for interviewing me.
Thank you.
And thank you for letting me interview you. God bless you. Awesome. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a potty break right now, but I'm going to be back in a moment.
Really? You couldn't just say like you had to powder your nose or something?
I'm going to powder my nose, and I'm going to go potty.
Something happened because they just closed that gate right there.
I know, I
right?
saw that.
And everybody just had a big cheer. And the internet went crazy. That's why for the last couple of minutes it's been going in and out. I think one of the Trumps might be here. I don't know.
Oh, probably Eric Trump. Wouldn't be surprised if Eric Trump is here.
Hey, ma'am. Who just got here that was famous?
Oh, okay, very good.
I don't know. We're standing back here.
Gary, so good to meet you.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go out on the ground. So I have a radio show called Take You. Hi, Kim. Oh, so good to meet you. So I'm a friend of Steve Slepchevek. You guys know Steve, who's running security here. So I lead the Take Our Border Back movement. So I also have a radio show called Taking Power Back Show. So we moved our event to be with you guys. We were just in New York and Canada for a summit. And then we brought everybody here. So we have a whole bunch of people who convoy here.
Right on. How many people?
You know what I mean? We probably have about
Are you doing
60,
anything?
70.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gary from Human Garage.
Gary, did I see you up there stretching?
Well, you saw me up there doing fascial maneuvers.
So Gary, I was a fitness business owner for years, college basketball player, kickboxer. Fitness, health, wellness is so important. That's how we take our power back. So tell me a little bit about you.
So we used to have a clinic in Santa Monica. It's the world's largest multidiscipline clinic. So we were 52 practitioners. We serviced the elites, everybody from Ben Affleck to the Olympic teams to the professional sports teams. And we found a way to actually self-heal the human body. So in 2019, we closed the clinics, and during the pandemic, we released worldwide movements that people can heal their body for free. So today we have over 4 million people on in our programs or online. And we have 30 million people around the world doing this with 1 million practitioners.
Amazing. Give me one of those movements right now.
One of them?
Yeah.
You got anything going on in your body?
I would say my knees are locked up, a little bit locked up right now from standing. My QL was challenged on my left side.
Okay, so here.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Here, hold this for a second.
Hold that for a second.
Okay. So, hit the skin, pull it up, stretch forward with your right foot, and just pull up and look up. And go ahead, breathe. Breathe 6 times. Through your mouth. Look up.